What about me now?
Oh.
Huh? Yeah. Why am I so low and you're so loud, dude? You said to me again.
Say something again.
See, and when I talk, it's super low. Well, this is ideal. Hello?
This is fun.
Hello? Oh, I was muted. I was muted the whole time. I was being picked up by your mic.
Damn, you are loud.
Yeah. That's good. Now that I'm unmuted, thanks for watching Wrestling on the Rocks. Tuning in a half an hour early.
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, if you follow or subscribe, then you will be notified if we go early. And we only go early when we just feel like going early.
Yeah, we're not consistent with this.
But as long as we're on the air and after NXT, doesn't matter if we're on there before as well.
Yeah, fair.
We want to get started a little early so that we could also throw Super Showdown in the mix. That happened over the weekend. Happened on Friday. And then they sort of talked about it Monday and Tuesday. So I only had 4 things I thought was worth mentioning from Super Showdown.
I got 4 pages.
Of Super Showdown alone?
Yeah.
Why?
I was not happy.
Well, let's go through them. I didn't want to break it down match by match necessarily, but if you got stuff that was...
Oh, we can go over like a few things I did.
Yeah.
This is Revival's decent match. I felt like this could have been a title match for Raw because I feel like every time these guys compete, I'm like, cool, which one of these guys is the title holder? Because we don't see the actual belt holder.
Having Johnny Walker today, we also will take a cease and desist or sponsorship from Johnny Walker. It doesn't have to be Crown Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Or, as I will say today, the booze that shall not be named.
Yes.
That's just because I'm out. It's not because I don't like it. This is the Game of Thrones White Walker version. It's White Walker, but blue bottle.
Yeah. And it feels cool.
It does. It's got a nice skin.
Yeah.
I do agree about Usos and Revival. I felt like it could have been and should have been a title match, but I also felt like, I would say this, my blanket statement over the whole thing was the same thing that we've seen every time they go to Saudi Arabia. This is a house show.
Yep.
This is the same as any live show you go to where they pander to the local audience. The talent doesn't want to get injured. They don't want to get gassed. It's also 100 degrees in that ring, so they got to be even more careful than normal.
It's colder than my house currently.
Good.
Yeah.
So it felt like every match that I was anticipating the most was the biggest letdown because everyone was really playing it safe, as it were. And you should always be safe, obviously. But there was just like a lot more mat wrestling, a lot more slow style paced matches, the kind of matches you typically don't see on TV or pay-per-view, the kind of stuff you see when you go to live shows.
Yeah.
So it's always good and entertaining, but it's never those matches that you go back and say, I got to rewatch it. And I'll say that Usos vs. Revival felt the same way. Here's 2 teams that you know could tear it up. I will say the difference with the Revival, though, is they're known for bringing it to live shows.
Mm-hmm.
Those 45-minute, 3-count fall matches with Gable and Rude. I mean, people were all over the internet about that.
Yeah.
So I will say it's a little bit of a surprise that they didn't, but it's 100 degrees in that ring.
No, 100%. But I mean, I think more, even if it's not for a title, like it would have been a good, like, let it be seen as a title match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they had...
They could have at least made it like a number 1 contender match.
Well, they did both end up being the number 1 contenders on Raw.
They did.
Yep. Then we had Seth versus Corbin, which I thought being placed very early honestly made me think a little bit of WrestleMania.
It's exactly what I thought. The second I heard Seth music, I went, oh, cool, Brock's not going to successfully cash in.
Or, ooh, Corbin's somehow going to get this belt.
I didn't think Corbin would get the belt. I thought, honestly, if they're going on first, that's because Brock Lesnar needs to come out, and Brock Lesnar's not going to win, so he's not going to wait 4 hours in Saudi Arabia to go on last. And I'll say this about WrestleMania and Brock. There's no reason to suspect that someone like Jerry Lawler would either lie or expose the business. You know, neither one of those seems to be out of his realm. So I did listen to his podcast right after WrestleMania, and he talked about being backstage that he was supposed to be one of the announcers for AJ Randy Orton, and he was saying that that was supposed to be the first match. And as he's getting ready to go out there, they said, stop. Brock's in a closed door meeting kind of video. He just came out. He's going on first. And supposedly, the Paul Heyman promo was kind of the actual conversation, and they just put it into storyline. I don't know if that's because it's 100% true, or if Jerry Lawler's not just helping the work of the story, because that's a good story either way.
Really, yeah.
But it definitely did give me the feeling that when I saw this happen, it was like, okay, we're getting the whole Brock Lesnar treatment again.
Fair point. But never discount Brock's ability to get on the goddamn plane to go home.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I don't discount Jerry Lawler's ability to protect the storylines, even on his podcast.
Yeah, fair. So we have briefly, Brock comes out with Heyman. Heyman trips. Seth kicks him in the balls, hits him with a chair over and over again. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was lame.
Yep. Demon versus Andrade. Zelina wasn't there. Demon's going to win. We knew that. Come on. I mean, yeah. Crowd is silent, which is, I think one thing I did notice is the crowd, and this is for all the Saudi shows, they're cheering in a different way than the U.S. crowd does. They cheer for the name, regardless of whether or not it's a good match. Like, oh, it's Triple H. Cheer. But when you have a good match, they're quite silent. This was a good match. It was a match to be expected. It was a really good match.
Did you notice that they were chanting NXT during this match?
Yep.
Like twice. I felt like this audience was just so excited to be there, which is cool and awesome. And they were so excited to chant and to cheer that they wanted to get them all in.
Yeah.
So they made sure that when they saw someone they recognized from NXT, that you chant NXT. Because Andrade and Finn Balor never had a match in NXT.
True.
So this wasn't like NXT relived. This wasn't Triple H versus Finn Balor saying, oh, NXT. You know what I mean? It was Andrade and Finn Balor. They did not cross paths in NXT. They just were excited. Here's two people I remember in NXT.
Fair point.
It was just kind of funny. I felt like a lot of the chanting was that way. They chanted CM Punk for no reason at one point. They chanted You Deserve It. I think they chanted Na 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 at one point. Like, they got them
They
all
were just
in.
happy to be here.
Yeah, anything they could get in. They're like, this is it. This is our time.
This is the best crowd ever.
Yeah.
From a promoter standpoint. Shane Roman. This one I wanted to get into a little bit. I felt like Shane looked really dominant. It was really upsetting because
Really
he
weird,
really,
right?
yeah, like, oh, cool. This is the new John Cena of the past 5 years, who's got an amazing record at WrestleMania, and Shane looked convincing against him, and didn't need to. It just really kind of puts Roman down. I felt like.
Absolutely. I felt Shane was super dominant the entire match. Roman got very little offense in and then lost. I just don't know what the fuck you do with that. It didn't make sense.
Oh, and we're going to get into it when we talk about this week a little bit about this.
Look at the little icon has a shadow. I put a little shadow for the belt. Do you see it?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
For anybody who's willing to Prime subscribe, smash! Yeah, Prime subscribe! Smash! Wow. Prime subscribe!
Smash. Speaking of next Smash, then we had Lars versus Lucha House Party,
That
which
was
really should have
exactly
been
what
on
you thought
Raw.
it'd be.
Yeah, that was
And it was on Raw as well.
yeah, but on Raw, Raw it was actually better. It felt like the Raw thing could have been done here, and then in the end of it, we would need to see more of it. But whatever.
This could have been the end of it too. There's nothing about that storyline that I know anybody talking about being excited about.
And there's no benefit to anyone there. If anything, it hurts everyone.
Nothing. It hurts everyone.
Triple H, Randy Orton, long ass match. Felt long.
Well, okay, so I felt that this match was very much callback to old wrestling. This was a good foundational match. They were working limbs. They were working weak parts. Orton was, in a lot of clever ways, working the chest,
A Triple
which
H.
you don't see that a lot, where it's all like, I'm going to work the chest. Usually you see things about working the arm or the leg.
Purple nurples.
Yeah, not a lot of purple nurples or pink bellies, but we were getting that this time around. I thought it was a really methodical match. I thought it was very well laid out. I thought the psychology of the match was really good. But I also knew it not being an exciting match, it's not going to be the one that everyone's talking about. But I felt like it was a sound, foundational match, and it was good. And it got me into it. There were certain times where I thought, well, maybe Triple H is going to win this. And I thought, oh, no, it's going to be Orton for sure. And I was like, oh, no, it's probably going to be Triple H. It had me back and forth, and that's, I kind of think, the idea.
Well, and I feel like this could have been a good bookend of the story for Triple H by having Orton finally beat him, like a almost like a retiring thing. I know it's not.
It's not.
But
But then again, you also don't know where they can go from it. And that's the other thing is that this feels like an isolated incident, this whole pay-per-view. Like,
yeah, this is a unique timeline. This is
yeah.
superheroes competing against each other in a gladiatorial contest on another dimension.
It's like the Capcom versus Marvel video game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, this doesn't have any impact on my comic books, but here's two dudes fighting.
Fair point, yeah.
Like, all right.
In that case, I still wish it were a more exciting match because it did, to me, it was like, this feels long. It made me think of Omega Jericho at Double or Nothing, where I was excited for it and this took a while. And that was worse.
I think it was methodical.
Yes.
I think it was a super methodical match. And I think that was, again, intentional because you're not trying to go out there and rip your pec open again. You know what I mean?
Point, yeah.
Everyone's going out there on these Saudi Arabian shows and destroying themselves, physically, literally hurting each other on accident because they're so they're so gassed, blown up, and exhausted from the travel and the heat. So I think that playing it safe was probably the right move, but it is not exciting.
Yeah. Then Braun and Lashley, short match. Braun slams Lashley a lot, wins. Cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat to see Braun with a big person again. I do like whenever Braun's with someone who's big enough and strong enough, it allows Braun to be quicker and more agile than he normally is in matches. Because if you put Braun in a match with Finn Balor, which they've done and we've seen and is a good match, but is Finn going to be able to hold Braun's body weight while he does a roll and tries to get out of an armbar? Probably not.
I'd like to see him try.
Right? Also, is it as impressive for Finn Balor to be ducking clotheslines by Braun Strowman and diving underneath him if Braun in turn does the same thing to Finn? You know what I mean? So to play up the quickness of the little dudes and the strength of Braun, he can't do that most of the time. But with Lashley, he could. So we saw a couple really fun little dives and some cool little back and forth things that you don't get to see him do much that you know he's capable of, and that was just nice to see.
Yeah. Okay. I was just I don't know, when I see it and I get what you mean. I didn't think of it in that lens. I think I just thought of it like a Braun match. And sometimes with Braun matches, I've been upset lately. It feels like I'm noticing more and more like he does 5 moves.
Yeah, he's not. It wasn't a great match.
Yeah.
But it was great to see him do a couple of extra things because he typically only does the 3 to 4 moves because he's a big powerhouse. And that's just the way that they book powerhouses. I've noticed more and more. It's the same thing with Roman. You know, he's the big dog. He's the powerhouse of the Shield. He's the power. He's the strength. They give him his 5 moves, but nothing more because those moves are so devastating. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the old like Vader stuff.
Yeah.
When Vader came back from Japan, he was all over the place, strong style, flipping and rolling. And they're like, slow down. You're in America. You're a big motherfucker. All you got to do is hit one dude with your body weight, and that's believable enough. So they had to slow down his pace and do that.
You're gonna break this stadium, Vader. Do not do that.
You can't do this. I mean, they let him keep his moonsault because it's just ridiculous not to see that. But that's just how they book their powerhouses. Braun is as powerhouse as it gets. That's why I like to see him against another powerhouse. It allows him to show off to the fans a little bit. I don't have to. I can do more. And so it's cool. It makes me want to see him with bigger guys in general.
Fair. I would like to see him get more of those moves though. To like that. Like I think it'd be cool to see him make him if he's the really fast big guy, give him more moves. Make him be like a Seth big guy, you know?
Yeah.
He has just crazy amounts of moves, and he's big because he could do it.
He could. I think again. I think he's very, very athletic. Again, I agree. It wasn't a great match, but it was nice to see him give us a little shimmer of what he's capable of.
Yeah. Kofi Dolph, I thought it was a really good match. A lot of people kind of didn't like the ending. I like the New Day not being. I'm really, like I've said over and over, I'm really tired of faces being so positively a face. And this makes sense. Like you hit Xavier, yeah, he's gonna hit you back, and that made sense the way he did that. And I don't think it's bad. I think it'd be cool to have faces who are like Eddie Guerrero, or they have that balance of not being this pure force of good. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and what was good about that minute too was that the New Day's been kind of saying for a long time that their primary goal was to get Kofi to be the champion, and that's why they did so much of what they did. It would be kind of silly if they didn't do everything they could to keep him the champion.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it comes from a super positive place, but how easy would it be to turn this faction heel again if it was all like, yes, we made him the hero, he's the champion, and he is never letting go. You know what I mean? Like you could turn that on a dime. So it was nice to see Kofi and Woods get involved a little bit. Not too much, which was nice.
Yeah.
I will say again, the match felt like a total letdown in that they're capable as a team of more, Dolph and Kofi.
Yeah.
But again, it felt like a live match. Keep it on the mat. Don't do too much stuff. Don't get too flippy. Don't get burnt out too fast. Take it easy. Take it slow. Get to the back and rehydrate. Like that's really what the name of the game felt like for almost the whole show.
Don't die.
Yeah. Please don't die.
52-man battle royal was not 50. They actually did a head count. There was 52 people in that ring.
Really?
Yeah.
Who did the head count?
There's a couple different videos I was watching online, and they were like, "There's 52 fucking people in here." Just like Cody.
Do you think the tag teams didn't count us too?
I wonder if we're gonna do that.
I bet you. I wouldn't be surprised if when they listed people, they listed a tag team and didn't think of it as two.
Yeah.
I mean, like they had their 1 through 50, and they're all like Viking Raiders.
I can get. It's a lot of like. Okay. Screw it. Just get them in there. I'd like that they gave a couple entrances and not everyone, because I mean that would have been a long pay per view, but then also a long house show actually. I liked Titus coming out carefully.
Super careful.
Yeah.
Very carefully.
EC3 was the first person out, and it almost looked like he took himself out like Gail Kim did.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in there.
Which him on Superstars this week, someone put up a GIF of him versus his first come out on Raw, how like he was so into it, and then
and then like the snap poses
and
stuff.
this last one he just is off, and then he turns and he doesn't look happy. It's like,
yeah, he just turns around and.
Sorry, man.
I will say this: if this is his new gimmick, if they're transitioning him to a gimmick that's a little more apathetic, maybe a little Cassidy orange-ish, then okay. If you want to play into this I don't give a shit attitude as a gimmick, if this wasn't instructed and this is how you're going to start behaving, and this is just how he is behaving, then I couldn't want less to do with him. And I don't care if they never put him on TV again, or he gets buried, or is underutilized. No, if you're not showing up and putting in your 100% every fucking night, regardless of what they give you, then no, I don't think you deserve more.
Yeah,
You got to be out there and put. It's exactly what Kofi did for 11 years. He wasn't always on the top of the card, but he always put on the best show of the night, the best he could.
You might be on Superstars. You might be on what was Heat. And the other thing is, you hear about people in back, from every podcast we listen to, talking to the writers saying, I want this. If the people that get forward, throw more ideas out there. Do something.
Yeah.
You should send that video to me, or that you sent me the article at Velveteen Dream. It was a really cool
good
way to put it.
Yeah, really good way to put it. And I would say the other thing is, was it Jim Ross was talking about somebody on one of his podcasts and saying to him, like, we've noticed you're not the, whoever of old, and you're not performing like you used to. And the response was, yeah, I'll put more effort into it when I get the push that I deserve. And he's like, you don't want to say that to the boss. And I will say that if that's your fucking attitude, then yeah, go ahead and sit there and never get the push. That's fine by me. You don't work hard when you get the promotion. You work hard to get the promotion, right?
Yeah, you work for the job you're going to get, not expecting to get it and then work at that level.
Or expecting to get it. You know what I mean? You work hard to get that thing. You don't say, oh, this is bullshit. Well, I'll once they make me manager, then I'll start showing up to work on time. No.
Yeah.
DP Booker, what's up?
Yo.
Yeah, Kofi always gave it his all. Paige also goes all in. Yeah, 100%. Live shows or otherwise. I would say when we saw the live shows with AJ and Samoa Joe, 100% there. R-Truth. Dude, that guy doesn't know how to turn it down a notch. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's awesome. So if EC3 is going to go out there and be laissez-faire about it because he's not where he believes he deserves, then no, fuck you. I'm happy that you're where you're at. Yeah. You're right where you need to be.
And I can in part get the frustration if it's there, but also like show it, because you were in the big time before and you saw what happens and you got released and you went to TNA, and you know what you did in TNA? You became something. You're not going to come back as something again. You need to prove it. You need to really prove it. You're not AJ Styles. You're not Samoa Joe. And even Samoa Joe had to go through NXT a fuckload longer than you did, dude.
Yeah, he's got to prove himself, and I don't think he was willing to, or I think he feels like he did it in TNA, and I disagree. And for what may be the first time, TV Poker and I are on the same page the whole time so far. All right, my dude. We are going over real quick about... we're just, I mean, if you haven't figured out yet, we are going through the Super Showdown before we get into Raw and Smackdown.
And we're almost done.
And we're almost done.
Mansoor won the 50-man or the Battle Royal.
Yeah, he won it. Was there any spot in the Battle Royal that you were fond of?
I did like Heavy Machinery, Viking Warriors,
And AP.
having a face-off. That kind of made me sad because these were three teams that I really, really like.
Yeah.
That, oh, yeah, you guys are here. I'm happy you're employed still.
Yeah.
Whew,
that
thought
was
you were
a
gone.
But it was also, one of those things where you hope that we get to that. Also, another one of those wasted comebacks. AOP's finally back from injury, and that's how they surprise us with them back.
Yep.
A worthless battle royal. Mm-hmm. Mansoor wins. I'll say that was the best I could come up with as far as a decent moment was that as far as like a spot.
It's not worth anything. It looks good because he's from Saudi Arabia. It's a great hometown win. People seem genuinely excited.
They also seemed like scarily angry when they thought he was going to lose it. I was all like, cut away, cut away. There's too many people in the audience just going like, fuck, to like Elias, and I was all like, ooh, that looks scary. Like, that
kind of makes
intense.
Me go. I would have loved to see that happen.
Oh yeah, go back, it's nuts.
An alternative universe where Elias is like it just goes south.
Yeah.
I hope that I think this is a good win to build a character off of, on like where Strowman felt like he was so rising, and then he wins this battle royal and it's worth nothing.
How much does it suck if you're Mansoor and last year they gave Braun Strowman a Saudi Arabian championship, and then you're Mansoor and you win the next year's thing, and they're like, where's his big green fucking belt?
Yeah, they
and
should
trophy
be.
with
It'd be
swords
awesome
on
with a
it?
giant green.
You know what I mean?
Belt.
Because here's the other thing too. Like, okay, so I understand the power of that moment to the people who are there, and I only say I understand it in that I could never truly understand it, and I know that. There were people who were super emotional and crying, and that meant a lot to those people. In turn, as a fan of WWE and wrestling, no, I don't feel like he deserved it. He's a one-year rookie. Does he deserve to go in there and win a 50-man battle royal, 52 men of your top 50 stars, apart from like the tippy top? You know what I mean? He's a one-year rookie. Does he deserve to throw Elias out over the top? Elias hasn't even really gotten going. And he's over. Like, he's as over as you get, and they really even haven't given him the good push that he needs.
Fair.
Like, I don't feel he deserved it, but it's nice that he had that moment with his family and his home country.
Fair.
I do think that if you wanted to use this win as a way to build that character through this win, because if this is my dream coming true, give him that shitty green belt. That doesn't mean anything. And then he can carry it around on NXT saying, I'm a Saudi Arabian champion.
And have it mean something fair. Really fair, yeah.
Yeah. Have it mean something. Have it even say it's a trophy, not a championship. Even like lay it out. He cannot defend this. He just gets to have it now. Cool.
He takes it out like Kurt Angle takes out the medals.
Like you brought up the medals, 100%. Give him something tangible that he can walk around and be all like, I'm the fucking man. You know? That's how you build a character with it. If this, it's like, it really felt a little pandering. It was nice. If this was your dream come true also, like, get some new dreams. You made the one little thing happen, and now I want you to make bigger things happen. Like, don't retire now.
That's it. I'm good. I'm going to go home and open franchises of KFC throughout Saudi Arabia. So, Undertaker Goldberg. Really long entrances.
Undertaker and Goldberg had more entrance than match.
And it wasn't a good match.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
The entrances were cool, though. It's been a while since we've seen him be that solid with it. And
do you think that Goldberg did that thing where he bashes his head?
Yes,
through a
he
door
did. He's an idiot.
And he was coming out because he was bleeding
yes.
a little bit. It's like, oh, shit. And he was concussed coming to the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this, two things real quick. TV Poker, we agreed with you. Strowman and Lashley match was not bad. Lashley did look strong in his defeat. We talked about it a little bit earlier, probably right before you tuned in. I apologize. We've been breezing through the Super Showdown because we ultimately felt that it was more of a live show and less of like a storyline show. So we're just trying to hit the hot spots and kind of graze over it. But yeah, we agree. They both look pretty good in it. We like seeing Strowman roll around a little bit like a fast dude. But But going back to this, if you watch the entrance and you listen to the dude knock on the door, you hear a thud and Goldberg go, bah! And it's like he said in all of his interviews that he headbutts the door to get him all amped up.
And somebody give him a solid core door.
They always give him a fucking heavy door. Because this last few times he's been coming out with that red dot on his head of blood. That he actually, like, he hits it so hard it bruises his head. That's what he came out to. And you're like, fuck, dude, why'd you do that? Now, I will tell you this.
That's the dumbest goddamn way to get CTE.
Yeah.
All the ways.
Now, let's do this. Instead of breaking down each and every botch that happened in this match, let me break down what I think went wrong. Yeah, TP also says he thinks Goldberg concussed himself on the door. I think this. So he's always talked about how he headbutts the door to get his adrenaline up, right? Which means he hits his head on the door really fucking hard. I don't think that's hard enough to get a concussion, but it was hard enough for him to get his adrenaline up. And this is where I think the turn is, right? So you get a guy who's never put in... You talk about him being from the Attitude Era. And these are the guys Undertaker wrestled in a Hell in a Cell match with a broken foot. Mm-hmm. Fucking Triple H, torn quads, finishes the match. You know, Foley loses an ear, keeps the match going.
Foley.
Yeah, Foley.
Loses several
Foley.
teeth.
Yeah,
Foley. Major concussion. Foley.
Yeah, you go through Foley's career, and this is a dude who, you know, built his career on getting through the injuries, right? Where is it?
So I like TP Pokers and Nia Jax 814 and hard-boiled eggs in a store. That I haven't seen that, but that is the funniest bit of English.
It's probably the least amount of eggs she's eaten in one sitting.
That is a light lunch for me, but it is like just no context. That is the funniest shit to read. I don't know.
I'm surprised they weren't Scotch eggs. You know.
Oh.
Knowing her. So here's this: is he doesn't. What's up? I don't know that well.
I don't know where that's going.
But I know when someone looks like they eat Scotch eggs on by the dozen. Okay. So I think this is Goldberg comes from an era where people, I don't want to say we're tougher, but were built in a way of where they had to power through in agony, right? The thing is Goldberg never did that.
Yeah.
He never got injured during his match.
2-minute matches that were like gassing matches.
Yeah. It was how quick and how intense can I make this look. So it makes sense for his run where he would headbutt the door, get his adrenaline fucking hyped up to go out there and be intense and fucking scream and jump all over the place and slam the dude on the ground and fucking scream again. That makes sense for a 30-second match. Here's the problem, is he adrenaline dumped before he got to the ring. Mm-hmm. So now when he hits his head on the post, which actually it looked like it was the hardware that connects the post to the turnbuckle, that part, fucking slams his head. Your body has no more adrenaline to give you.
But a lot of blood to shoot toward that wound.
Yeah. So now where you normally, these people who were getting injured in these matches would normally get a spike of adrenaline and say, I fed off that adrenaline as long as I could. He didn't have that as an option. He was out of adrenaline before that match happened because he does it and then we wait 10 minutes for the match to happen. His adrenaline's starting to drop and his body's not making more. So now he hits his head, busts wide open, and his body's got no recourse. It cannot give him adrenaline. He cannot keep going. He even collapses on the ropes.
Yep.
And then collapses when he tries to get off the ropes. And then he just sits there and pours blood. And his body doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, it was rough. And I think at the end of the match, you see Undertaker not even looking. He legit looked upset. And I think that was because you do this match, and that occurring, both guys look bad. But I wonder how much of that was, if you don't have the adrenaline, you can't jump for moves as much.
Yeah.
So he's not able to jump. He's not able to help Undertaker. Undertaker's doing everything himself. And Goldberg's a big boy to do everything by yourself with, especially when you're 55 and you're not doing this regularly.
He's a fucking sandbag.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. When you watch the tombstone that everyone talks about, the botched tombstone, watch Goldberg's hands. He lets go partway through. He can't hold on anymore. He's too fucking gassed to take that. He has to hold himself up. But he doesn't. He just lets go, and he slides back down as he's falling down.
Yeah.
And then everyone's all like, look, Undertaker couldn't hold him up. No, fucking Goldberg let go.
Yeah.
He's like fucking the Titanic.
And that jackhammer, fucking Christ.
I thought that was it. I thought Undertaker was dead.
Shit.
I was like, oh no, he's dead. But
Oh, and Undertaker doing old school was cool, but legitimately when he went to do that, I was like, because he'd been limping, I was like, oh shit.
yeah. So if you also watch the little GIF that comes out, when Goldberg hits the post, if you're watching Undertaker, he's over there like trying to pop his knee, and then he like squats down. He's like, oh my fucking knee, oh god. He hurt his knee running out of the corner, and he's like trying to stretch it out. But we all watched Goldberg smash his head, and no one paid attention to that. That like, yeah, Goldberg like Taker blew out his knee really early on. It was like, fuck, I'll get through it. But also Undertaker knows how to get through it.
Yeah.
And he knows how to like harness his adrenaline. Goldberg's got no fucking idea. He just thinks that, oh, I'm a big, strong dude. I can do big, strong stuff. No, there's other sides to this, man.
He's got no condition. You see in Goldberg's matches, you kind of realize that Goldberg played football. His matches are a play. They're not a match. They're, I'm going to go do this for 30 seconds, then I get to pause.
Yeah.
And then do it again, coach.
And I will say this, it was the perfect storm. You know, you had two dudes who were not conditioned to be wrestling every fucking night of the week. You had the ring being 100 fucking degrees outside. Mm-hmm. You had a dude get a concussion 2 minutes into the match after he had no adrenaline left. You had Taker kind of work his knee. Mm-hmm. I think, honest to God, if Goldberg didn't smash his head, I think we would have had a good match.
Yeah.
Because you see the way that the match was supposed to be laid out as they go, but you see that they're also not capable of doing it because Goldberg can't stand. He can't physically stand. He's concussed. The dude's seeing stars if he's seeing anything at all.
Yeah.
And he thought he could power through it, and he thought that because he's never had to do it before.
Yeah.
So no one knew how to tell him to stop, and everyone thought, I'm sure, everyone was thinking, well, he's from the Attitude Era. Of course he can get through this.
He's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. As much as we compare him to Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's not. Yeah, but that was that event.
Yeah, so I think it's a bummer. I think it sucks the way that people are eating it up and just saying it was just two old dudes going at it old dude style. No, there was a lot of things to take into account. I don't think the guys were conditioned to be in that level of a fight with the heat. I think that's such a big play, but I also think that Goldberg smashing his head was it. That's what did it. If he hadn't have done that, I think they would have worked through everything else. I think they would have been okay. I think they would have landed those spots. I really do. Both dudes look good enough. They look strong enough. They've been training enough. I think it would have been all right.
It just went horribly wrong rapidly.
Just really steamrolled. And I don't know who's at fault at that point. Who do you say should have stopped the match? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
But that was that event, and they never brought up Undertaker or Goldberg again. There's all those rumors about what's going on backstage, and I don't know what any of that is true or not. I will say they are two legends who did big things in their time. I don't think that they intentionally put on a bad match. I don't think that it would have been a bad match had Goldberg just not hit that post the way he did. If he had hit it safer, you know what I mean? If he just didn't knock his head, I think we would have had a good match.
He took it on the shoulder. I'll say this with Undertaker. He needs to retire. The thing that sucks is that the past 4 matches we've had with him have not been fitting matches for retirement. They've looked terrible. He's looked terrible. And then we keep pulling them back, and it's just ruining the legacy of it. It's not making him look good. And if this is his last match, that's a sad last couple of notes to that song. But I don't necessarily want to see him come back for another one again because I don't trust what's going to happen.
I'll tell you the problem is they keep putting up against older wrestlers who are from a certain era who don't wrestle all the time. If they put him up against maybe even a Cena, I'd have been more into it, right? Or if they put him up against a Triple H, who's out there more often, right? But you put him up against a dude who hasn't wrestled in almost 3 years, and even when he did wrestle, it was 6 years before then, and even when he did wrestle before that, it was 2-minute matches because that's what he was capable of doing. Undertaker was just not capable enough of taking the whole thing on his own with the sandbag Goldberg, who was concussed. And I don't even think that's Goldberg's fault, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to blame Goldberg for that. He knocked his head silly. That sucks. And he tried to go on because that's how dedicated he is.
He's trying to put on a show for people.
He was trying to do the right thing, and it was just impossible to know if it's the right thing till you do it. You know what I mean? when do you call the match? If he had immediately fell over and they called the match, everyone would have been like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, absolutely.
So he had to try, and then at one point do you just say, "Okay, just stop"?
Evidently, his wife and son were in the front row too.
Yeah.
Which. Shit.
Let's see. I know on TV Focus saying Taker and Triple H already had their one last time. Also, Taker and Cena had theirs as well. Like, I get it. I'm not saying these are the matches that should have been, but in a case where one person's going to be gassed or one person's going to be not as active as the other, one of them's got to be younger, and that's why I agree with Blue Boyd on this one, and I was going to bring it up too. I think the way you have Undertaker go out is finally do the handoff of the new face of fear. The way that it should have been done the year after Brock, the way that the streaks truly should have ended, should have been Undertaker's retirement match where he hands over the scariest motherfucker award to Bray Wyatt. Do that with The Fiend. Now that Bray's back and he's in the best shape of his fucking life, that dude looks like he could bench press the ring itself.
Yeah, he looks
fucking huge.
He looks amazing.
Yeah. I believe, like, just seeing Bray and seeing Fiend, I would believe a squash match of The Fiend versus Braun Strowman, even with the way Braun Strowman is booked, the way that they've got Bray looking and acting, fucking believe it. So put Undertaker in there with The Fiend, let that be his swan song, and let him hand over the face of the scariest motherfucker. I think adding the Demon could be cool, TP, but I don't know that I think it could draw away.
1-on-1.
Yeah, because I think the Demon and the Dead Man are very different in their presentations. I think the Dead Man and the Fiend are a lot more similar of, this is just who the fuck I am, where with Finn Balor and the Demon, this is what I have to draw out of myself. Undertaker never had to draw anything out of himself. This is just who that fucker was. So that's why I think that Demon could pull away from, although it would be cool to physically, visually that'd be cool. Demon face paint, Fiend mask, and Undertaker. That's a great visual. But I think storyline-wise, I think Fiend and Taker need to do it alone.
I think I think Bray Wyatt and Taker would be good because Bray Wyatt is booked very much in the middle where Balor's and the Demon are such a baby face that if he won it, I don't know if I'd like that. I feel like him winning it over Taker might take away from him, and it might turn the crowd against him because it would. I don't know if it would help Finn or hurt him.
Oh, Finn, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it could help Bray.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be fantastic.
I think people would be into it.
I think Bray steamrolling through the Demon, and then Undertaker would be awesome.
Ooh.
That would be really good, one then the next. Do that at Mania, or do that Royal Rumble, then do that at Mania.
Yeah. Or do you do Demon first, and then have him go against the Undertaker, and have Undertaker say you're not? I don't know. Maybe Undertaker does have to go first. You think Demon and then Taker?
Demon, then Taker. I think Demon... Demon first, because Undertaker, he needs time to get up for this, because he can do 1 or 2 matches a year.
Yeah, but the Demon's undefeated for years, and Undertaker's taken a lot of barely wins. But I guess you still get it done, right? So
yeah,
I guess at the end of the day, he still could stand on the idea of you may have defeated the Demon for the first time, but you've never beat the Dead Man, right? Because he's fought Undertaker and lost before, and I'll keep you down.
When you've created this perception with Undertaker War, wins and losses don't matter nearly as much anymore.
Yeah,
because he's become transcendent, where it's not even necessarily beating it's not beating Mark Calloway, it's beating the Undertaker, the idea of the Undertaker, which it doesn't really matter because that's...
Do a buried alive match.
Oh fuck yes, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or a hammer on a pole match. No, just kidding. I don't want
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Yeah. A custody of Paul Bearer's ashes match. Sorry, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I will say real quick, shout out to Stackhouse. You're our dude. I do agree heat affected the whole show. I did say that at the very, very beginning, but we did start early, was that I felt that because of the heat and because of the nature of the lack of storyline necessity, that a lot of the matches felt super well paced. They felt like they were really stay on the mat, keep it slow, get in, get out, go back and rehydrate. I felt like that the heat had a lot to do with the matches not being more exciting. Let's see. What was I going to say about Super Showdown? Oh, the other thing that made it even seem less important was that before it was even over, they'd already announced 3 rematches for Stomping Ground.
Yeah,
literally. I was like, well, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Remember those 3 matches you just watched an hour ago? We're going to do it again.
Which also made this week's Raw kind of like over and over again. I was like,
Yeah, stop. But that brings us to Raw.
Yep.
That brings us to the Raw zone.
Mm-hmm. The Raw zone.
Yes.
Brought to you by Gold Bond Foot Cream. So you don't have a Raw zone.
Yeah, so if you get Swampy Raw,
Yeah.
you can just dust that right off.
Chafing.
Fuck, man.
I'm trying to make this like not make noise.
Well, you're not going to do that right.
Okay, I'm just...
Let's see. So we get Raw. It starts off with a shot of the venue that I thought was very revealing in how small the venue was and how empty it looked by the time Raw started.
Mm-hmm.
I was all like, ooh, let's bring that in. Let's bring in that camera angle. Same thing with Super Showdown, actually. They showed some wide shots of it. Why do I know I mentioned these things in notes, but I have no notes for it for Showdown. But they also they showed the Super Showdown, and the whole left side was almost empty.
Yeah.
It was like they were all on the side, and then the way that they did the chairs, there was like 4 real succinct areas and then a ton of open space. And I was like, well, I don't think they're selling there either.
It's so funny when you see those big shots. Like, I remember at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was their biggest event at that huge fucking stadium, and you see this like all the like the aristocracy around the ring, and then like 100 feet, and then the normies. And it's like, okay, this isn't nearly as cool. This is kind of upsetting now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the San Jose show for Raw seemed small.
Seemed low. Seemed low in attendance, and it seemed in a very small venue. I think they've been doing like the basketball courts, like they've been doing the universities. Like imagine if they did one at U of A instead of TCC. Which, if you were at the TCC show last time they did it, they probably could have fit in the U of A. Like
that's kind of scary.
It's a little nuts.
Yeah, that's kind of upsetting.
Let's see. After that, it opens up with Seth Rollins. They show a video package of Super Showdown. Seth gives an okay promo.
Well, he comes out cocky, which I kind of liked because...
Oh, with the chair?
We've talked about this with Miz and with Seth. It's like, okay, you need something, like some kind of personality, and you being like the babyface isn't working.
That's true. He needs to change it up, but I feel like that just punching someone in the nuts and then giggling because you have a chair isn't enough for me. But, I mean, I can see what you mean. If they're trying to get something going, I could be into that.
Yeah, no one's done what I've done to Brock Lesnar. You mean kick him in the dick?
Yeah.
And hit him with the chair.
No one's right done to him. You mean kick him in the dick and then punch him a few times? Like, it's exactly what you did at WrestleMania. And it's also like, yeah, because not everyone else is trying to just kick a motherfucker in the dick a bunch, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if he started teaming with Shinsuke, I could be into that. The Rochambeauers.
Yeah.
Rocham Brothers.
Stone Crushers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ball Breakers.
Ball breakers?
Ball Breakers.
Jaw breakers.
Just graphic of like 2 footballs just... Like,
yeah.
Just balls being overinflated and popping as their graphics over and over again.
Dude, they could wear Nutcracker uniforms because they both wear the one suits.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
They just come out with those like
coconuts and they go.
Yeah. I'm down with this.
Let's see. Baron Corbin comes out. The crowd boos like crazy. It was really good.
Fantastic, and the way he did it, the feeling is mutual.
Oh,
I'm not gonna stop. He's good at this.
He's so good.
Really goddamn good at this.
It's crazy.
It's amazing, and I love Corbin more and more every time it comes out.
Yeah, he's really getting a handle on it, and he's really doing a great job with it. But yeah, it was 100%. As soon as they boom, oh, the feeling's mutual. Yeah, I loved it.
And we find out, we hear our first rematch, on Raw. We're going to have a rematch at Stomping Ground, which I don't like these immediate rematches that we weren't supposed to have, but...
Which rematch are you talking about? Seth and Baron? Okay, but they already announced it at Super Showdown. That's what I mean. Before Super Showdown ended, they said, we're going to see Seth and Baron, we're going to see Dolph and Kofi,
but if
we're going to see Roman and Elias.
But if you hadn't seen Super Showdown because you didn't have the network, this is the first time you're hearing about it.
It is.
And I don't like it, but I like Corbin in this role, and I like him at the top of the card. I like him as a heel, so I'm okay with this.
He's probably the best heel. Well, he's he's probably the heelest heel they have.
He's the heelest heel on Raw that isn't part of this goddamn wild card role that keeps coming out.
Wild card! And that brings out Sami Zayn. So Baron says he gets to pick a guest referee, and then Sami Zayn comes out. Sami says that Seth is obsessed with Brock. Seth says no one has Sammy's back. Then KO comes out. Such a funny reaction too.
Since
Sammy
I'm a
was all
wild-
like going, "What do you mean?" And then KO's music goes, and he's like, "Oh!" And then he starts like fucking jumping up and down. It's so funny.
I love KO said, since I'm a wild card, whatever that means.
That's exactly what I have here too.
Best line of the
Yeah,
night.
whatever that means. Yeah. Then they make a match for the main event, KO versus Seth. And I felt like this show felt really back to fundamentals, really back to basics. You get your champion comes out, gets the cheers. Oh, I beat the beast. I beat the beast. You have the bad guy come out, get the boos. I hate this town. I hate this town. You have the other heels come out to establish a main event to kind of give you a story arc for the show. And then you have Seth say, well, "What do you think of that, San Jose?" Woo-hoo! Like, it felt super fundamental in how do you start a show with wrestlers. This is it. This is the cookie cutter way of doing it. But I felt like it worked. And I felt like maybe it's because they've drawn so far away from the fundamental.
That they got to get back to it.
They got to get back to it.
Yeah. Side note, I'm really tired of Seth Rollins calling himself Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes, I think that's stupid. I think his new shirt is dumb as fuck. Did you see it? Did you read it?
Which one?
His new one that has the little Seth Rollins logo with a little flame on it. And then on the back of it, it's got a little candle with a little flame on it. And the candle has words that make it a candle. You know what they say?
Seth freaking Rollins?
No, worse. It says something along the lines of, let me see if I can find it real quick. Something along the lines of like, ignite it, stroke it, burn it. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
KY,
Fucking
fire
relax.
and ice lubricant. Ignite
Yeah,
it.
it's a Gold Bomb shirt.
Stomping Grounds coming to you in 2 weeks.
It says, ignite the will, stoke the flame, burn it down. Brought to you by Gold Bomb.
That sounds like an edgy kid smoking weed.
It's fucking gross, dude. And I read it and I was like, this is stoke stop it. And I always thought that his whole deal was reinventing himself after WrestleMania. He became the Architect after WrestleMania, then he was the Kingslayer, then he was the Beastslayer, then he was the Burn It Down. Like, I thought that was his whole deal, was he started something new each time. This time, not so much. Like, he did Beastslayer, but then he's still doing all his Burn It Down shit, and I'm kind of not into it.
Well, and the Beast Slayer stuff's getting old as hell, too. It's just, all of it sucks. Nice.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, the Beastslayer stuff, I'm not into it, especially because you just kicked him in the nuts a few times and then kicked him in the head a couple times, and for whatever reason, that seemed to do the trick. But then you go ahead and you watch fucking Elimination Chamber
Like
when
more...
every motherfucker does their finisher on Braun and he just fucking kicks right the fuck out. But then Braun goes against Brock and like can't do jack shit. And then all it takes to take out Brock is a fucking nut check. Like, the continuity of power of moves to me is upsetting.
If someone took advantage of this and then in the next Brock feud just was like taking notes and literally they like had like a Fashion Files thing where it's just a picture of Brock in like his crotch circled.
Yeah.
Arrow pointing up secrets.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with it.
It's the Achilles dick, dude.
I was gonna say like so Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar match, it doesn't feel like a when I think Beast Slayer I always think of Doom, you know, video game Doom.
I think of the Beastmasters. Remember that? Those books?
Yeah.
I wish that's what he did. I wish he was a Beastmaster.
Yeah, but when it was like that, I think of like, I don't know, this big overcoming thing, but it really comes off like in terms of video games, it comes off like a Duke Nukem final level, where like you just kick someone's like this big alien's fucking eye out through goalposts.
You know what I wish? Make a shirt where you see Brock Lesnar on his hands and knees because he's getting kicked, and then you have Seth doing the stomp on it, and it just says Power Top. Seth Rollins.
That dude who did the She-Vival shirt and got the cease and desist, I want him to make that.
1, 2, 3 pins.
Please.
At 1, 2, 3 pins. His name is actually William Smith. Will Smith. That's his name. And just as charming.
Fuck. Okay.
Absolutely.
Be still my beating heart.
He actually put up his... I'm just going to plug him, man. I love this dude. Met him at StarCast. He was awesome. The She-Vival shirt that I have is the most comfortable wrestling shirt I've ever owned. Saw him at StarCast. Told him, you know, afterwards I'm going to go on. I'm saving my cash for the shit here that's really once in a lifetime. All this stuff was the same price on his website as it was there. I was like, dude, I'm going to go online. When we get back, after first paycheck, I'm going to buy a bunch of these pins. I want them, right? Go back. 2 days later, they shut him down. WWE's not having it. I was like, fuck! I wish I'd given him all my money then. But today, he opened his store back up. 1, 2, 3 pins. For Smarks by Smarks, and he released a brand new shirt and a pin that says "Wrestling belongs to us." I got myself a shirt, I got myself a pin, and I got myself a 123 Pins coffee mug. That's my dude right there.
Heck yeah.
Go support him at 123pins on Twitter. 123pins.com, I believe, is his website. Go get a Wrestling is for Us shirt, guys. Couldn't support a better dude.
I'm cool with this.
Except us. If you hit Prime, subscribe. You can subscribe to us for free. Also support us with no money out of your pocket if it's Prime subscribe.
Yeah.
Prime subscribe.
You can not give us money, but still give us money, which we like.
It's like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Fuck.
What?
Amazon's our Tooth Fairy.
Yes.
Okay. Lars Sullivan versus Lucha House Party in a 3-on-1 elimination match. This should have been the end of it, and this should have been 3 fucking weeks ago.
Yeah, this was exactly what it was. Let's see. Lars Sullivan is in the back slapping his head and jumping and is set to take on Lucha House Party again. Then they had a weird Stomping Ground commercial with noises. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like beatboxing, but not.
They should have played the sounds of like large groups of soldiers marching, but then again, that might be really fucked up.
Yeah, especially if you're going to go to Lars after that.
Black and white historical shots.
After that, we do go to Lars versus Lucha House Party.
I'm surprised that Kalisto was the first in there and was destroyed.
Yep, it was a 3-on-1 elimination match. Lars just beats the shit out of the tiny little Mexicans, I wrote. That's what I wrote.
Lars is devastating in real life as he is on bodybuilding forums.
Yeah.
Yep.
He keeps screaming, "Who's the man?" Weird.
Can they not give him things to yell that can easily be turned into an audience chant back that's going to really fucking be bad?
Yeah. I'm not racist. Yeah, he should just be screaming that. So let me move on. I don't know why he's screaming, "Who's the man? Who's the man?" when you have Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins who both say they're the man. And then Lars Sullivan's like, "Who's the man?" Like, don't you watch TV, dude? You don't know who the man is.
Clearly not you.
Clearly it's not you, dude.
Also, you should say "Who's the freak" if you're going to go with this stupid ass fucking freak thing. But
yeah, who's the freak now? That'd be easy.
Who's the racist? Who's the racist? Who's the racist?
I mean, his whole thing was that, like, I'm beating the shit out of everyone because they called me a freak. So it was like, who's the freak now? Mm-hmm. Now am I a freak? You know what I mean? Like, something, but who's the man?
Well, he's really not beating the shit out of everyone. He's beating the shit out of these 3 people.
These tiny little Mexicans.
Yeah.
Fuck. If I beat the shit out of the tiny little Mexicans I work with every time I went to work, dude.
We'd be doing this a lot more because you'd be unemployed.
I'd be totally unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wouldn't be giving me 20 minutes a day on TV.
Fair point.
To beat the shit out of... Never mind.
It's not good. Also,
coming for you, Arturo. Let's see.
But it really, like, it did, the order upset me. It really bothered me that it was Kalisto first, because this is the most tenured guy who's held a fucking U.S. title belt, and you just, like, destroy him.
Who beat Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
Let's not forget, Kalisto has beaten Braun Strowman.
Yeah, he's beaten a lot of people, and oh, no, we're going to beat you in one goddamn move. This would have been, okay, so this wouldn't have been bad if this was 3 weeks ago. If this was the squash match as a response to him hurting them all once, cool. But we've done this for like a month now.
Yeah. Just 100 people are watching right now too, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, go ahead and smash that Prime subscribe. Put the I in subscribe. You can also put the I in following. You can go ahead and feel free to put the no in notifications. You don't have to keep watching to subscribe, but you could be a hero to us either way. This is going to one day fund my dreams of not paying for the network anymore. If we could just get free AEW every year, but that's going to be hundreds of dollars a year at this rate. So
free AEW or a Bentley, the Bentley might be cheaper.
That's true.
And I have, Also, I got to buy a lot of T-shirts, so.
Yeah, you're low on shirts.
Yeah.
I got to buy more of these.
Well, they come out like 10 a week. It's like shit.
Oh, yeah. AEW cannot stop releasing shirts. Let's see. You want free WWE Network? Yeah, if I get enough Prime subscribes, it'll pay for itself. And it costs you nothing to pay for my network. Mm-hmm. Or just free booze. Let's see. After that, we get the 24/7 spot. Just use a VPN with different emails. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Just create a new email account every 30 days.
They used to do 3 months free every now and again. You can maybe wait. I will say this, is they do email me at least once or twice a year with a coupon that gives me like 2 months for 99 cents or 1 month free or something. So I do not pay the whole thing all year, so it's nice.
What the fuck? I've gotten 0 of those.
You don't get them, man?
Yeah, I've been a member for like 4 years now.
Check your spam and junk mail, dude.
God damn it, that's...
Let's see. So the 24/7 spot comes up. Yeah, the Fighter Fest, and I believe they said the next one's going to be free as well, which means we can afford the next 2.
Hey.
We're just hoping to afford the third. Let's see. They get stuck in the elevator on the 24/7 spot.
Yep. I thought it was funny.
This one was a little weirder. I wasn't as into this one. It was still entertaining, but this one was a little bit more of a stretch, I felt like, sticking in the elevator.
By the end of it, the way it went through the show, like by the end of the whole series of segments, I liked it, but I wanted to go further because I liked how it ended a lot. But I think it would have been funny if it were like maintained. Like I liked how they all kind of like were getting to know each other.
Oh yeah, the way they were talking and stuff. And Drake Maverick's really good.
EC3 was good. We needed to decide who we're gonna eat.
I don't know, and like him carrying around that red cup and stuff. Like I don't know what he's up to. That's a very Street Profits thing or not. I don't know. I don't know what EC3's up to, and I don't know if I like
drinking
him.
problem.
But you're probably right. He probably was entertaining, and I just was hating on him. Let's see. After that, we get a Lacey and Becky promo. Lacey sounded more scripted than usual. She's always sounded relatively scripted, but she always sounded very natural in it. This seemed a lot more waiting for my lines. A lot more Becky would say something, and this is my response now.
It felt very weird that this was a sit-down interview, but it was with 3 people in the same fucking building, but in 3 very different areas.
Yeah.
It would have been, I think if they were in the ring together, it would have been okay, but I think the scripting might have been new. It might have been like thrown out very late. But yeah, it did feel very scripted for Lacey. Becky felt, I didn't like the way, at the end, it just felt like apathetic, which I was like, yeah, I get it. You're really tired of fighting the same person, but it felt like...
You felt like Becky came off apathetic?
Yeah, like when she just...
Oh, yeah, shut your mouth, you're plank.
Yeah.
But...
I like Becky a lot.
I didn't think that it came off apathetic so much as it was this weird pissing contest all of a sudden where Becky's going to get her last word in because she's the champ and she should, but Lacey is like, you're not going to punk me, and kept saying something just a little bit more. And so Becky was just finally like, shut up, you plank. You know what I mean? Like, all right, keep yammering. Like, it was this whole thing where it's like, I don't disagree with, I mean, maybe I'm partial to Becky, but I don't disagree that when they're going off the cuff a little bit, the champ gets the final word because they're the goddamn champ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, we'll see about that. Then it cuts or some shit, you know? But this was like the Lacey kept going, no. It was like getting the last word for the sake of the last word.
Yeah.
That felt a little bit to me petty.
Yeah.
But it didn't come off to me apathetic, but it did come off a little bit petty. And then it was kind of like, I don't know who I'm supposed to support right now. Even though I obviously love Becky with my Becky wall over here. Let's see. Yep, that's what I said. They announced Bayley and Becky versus Lacey and Alexa. I'm always excited to see Bayley and Becky work together in any way. Shadow King Bakra says he's going to donate the price of the pay-per-views so he can see our reactions to it. That's all out, I'm assuming, because that's the other one should be free.
No.
Yeah, we'd accept it. I got a PayPal.
That's
you can also
amazing.
gift a sub, right? So you can also just if you put the money towards the subs, other people in the chat can get free subs out of it too.
Sure.
There's all ways we can give back with it, and we really want to cover it. We want to talk about it. It was also, we did the one on Double or Nothing, and the biggest bummer was I was the only one who got to see the whole thing. Klump got to see clips on YouTube before they were pulled down, and Kevlar didn't get to watch any of it. So let's see. So we do all want to see it though. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Well, it kind of killed Becky's momentum when they took the SmackDown title. Sort of. I don't disagree with that they took her title and the momentum shifted. I do think the problem is the Raw division. I don't think that it's her crowd reaction or anything. I think the crowd's behind her. I think she's hot right now. But I do think that what are they going to do on the Raw division? Which is also why I thought they had to take the SmackDown title from her, because Bayley can build a SmackDown division, but Raw has nothing.
Yeah.
No one. Like, you've got Lacey now getting her third title match, hasn't had a win in 8 matches. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck is she getting another title match for? Yeah. Like, I don't understand what she's... I mean, is this her third or second? I thought she had
This is her second.
Her second? I thought she had
It feels
something
like that because She's had she's had matches, but she has not had
Yeah,
she has 2
and she
title
did
matches.
nothing to earn this one.
I feel like
See, a serious question: where the heck is Bray Wyatt? Yeah, he's in limbo. He's in the funhouse. We'll get to that in just a minute, actually, as far as what we think of it. That is on the final hour, right before the last segment. But stay tuned. You and TV Poker are both wondering what we think about Bray Wyatt, and I think I've got an idea or two. I don't know if you've got any ideas. I know Kevlar's usually the fantasy booker. He's out because he's a scumbag. So we end up getting the Alexa and Nikki Cross promo, where Alexa saying that Bayley is fake, asked Nikki to be ringside. I think it was the next one where she did the Twitter thing, but let's see. Miz TV.
Oh, I was gonna say in the middle there. I thought it was funny, like real quick when they did the highlights of the Greatest Show or Super Showdown. Michael Cole said Saudi Arabia, and it's like, whoa, he said where they were.
On Super Showdown, they did say it a few times, yeah.
Oh wow, because it felt like for the longest time they were like hiding that. Like
Yeah, they were.
Miz TV.
Yeah, they went Miz TV. Renji said he's a little over WWE, and I feel like it's definitely not what it could be. I wouldn't say I'm over it. I feel like you almost have to watch it with a little bit of a filter now. I'm more excited to see what's going to happen when I start feeling a little bit of pressure of people just leaving. There's definitely a lot of bits of it that we're not into, but at the same time, I don't want to discount the good stuff because of the level of shit stuff. And that's what I think we try to break down really here is like the highlights, the things that were good, the little gems in the sand. And as AEW makes more and more stuff, if they end up being a bigger gem, we devote more time to them. We're going to devote time to what we like the most. So.
And ultimately, like we want everyone to grow. If we spot weak spots, we can give that feedback or try and like say what we think would be better. You know, we want everyone better.
Let's see. I will say Samoa Joe gave a great interview in Miz TV. He was so fucking funny, so good. Let's see. G1, because man, the lineup looks amazing so far. G1 does sound pretty cool. Although I don't understand. I don't know. Am I supposed to be excited for Kenta? Like I kind of want to be, but I wasn't all that impressed with his Hideo Itami run. Even when he was being good and successful, I wasn't super impressed with it.
Well, you can maybe. My hope is you can kind of see why they made him Hideo Itami, why they brought him over from Japan. Because
I will say him wearing a takeover shirt pissed me off. Immediately, I was all like, "Get the fuck out of here!" But
well, what I was gonna say is like about like the Miz TV segment. Yeah. It felt like if you didn't like the first segment that we do always, here's another opening segment to Raw.
Yeah, here's another first segment is what it totally felt like. Braun comes out, challenges Joe. Lashley comes out. Ricochet comes out. Cesaro comes out and sucker punches Ricochet. Bing, bing, boom. We have Ricochet, Miz, and Braun versus Joe, Cesaro, and Lashley. And what was funny is they were all in this big melee during the commercial break. As soon as the commercial break cut, I was like, so what, we're getting a 3-on-3 tag match? I was like, who are we going to get? And we just sat there and thought for a second. I was like, I guess it's going to be Ricochet, Miz, and Braun against Joe, Corbin, and Lashley? Then he came back and they're like, decided over the commercial break, made official by your general manager. Or whatever they say whenever they come back.
Also, again, and we've said this is a weak point to me, is Miz as, like, wholesome Miz.
Horrible.
Yeah. You don't bring a man's family into this. Literally, the reason you're feuding with Shane is because you brought your family into this. And before that, your wife would interfere with your matches. You bring your family into this.
The last 2 times we've seen your wife was to announce you're having a kid.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm not into it.
Yeah,
And then what's he do the next night? He wears a fucking my dad's shirt.
It was fucking hilarious. I love Joe's line. And?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. Yeah. And? That was so good. Let's see, the 3-on-3 though, it was again good to see Braun with a big guy who can help him look fast. Him and Lashley did a lot of cool back and forth where he got to look pretty good. Corey pissing me off again. This fucking dipshit. Corey starts saying Miz stole the it kicks from Daniel Bryan, the world famous yes kicks. You know, he starts saying, oh, these are the yes kicks from Daniel Bryan, all this shit. And so, like, you just spent the last fucking 2 years trying to talk about how this was Miz's fucking gimmick and how Daniel Bryan's got no ground. You're like, he's so fucking dedicated to say against Like,
be the heel commentator.
Yeah.
And it just sucks.
it does suck.
I liked him for so long, and now it's just cool. I'm really tired of Corey Graves.
I would have rather he would have said something like, these it kicks used to make me excited and now they make me sick. You know what I mean? But to try and go back 100% on your own narrative and just say, no, it's the other way now, then you just sound like a fucking idiot, man.
Mm-hmm.
You just sound stupid. If, like I said, if he said that he's not happy about it anymore, he's not excited, in hindsight, none of these fucking things happened. It was just, he stole these kicks. When before it was like, Daniel Bryan stole these kicks. You're fighting with yourself, dude.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, to respond to Renji, I just want Naito and Okada in different blocks.
What do you mean?
Like, so G1, it's like blocks, and then that way you can get these awesome finals. I just, Naito and Okada.
Oh, in the tournament?
I've seen it before, but I always like seeing Naito and Okada, so I want them
Are
to.
they good together?
Oh, fuck yeah. And Naito's like lost steam, and I want Naito at the top again. So, yeah. But, yeah.
Let's see. Our producer brings up a good point. The only other thing I was going to bring up about Super Showdown, because I said I had 4 things I wanted to touch ground on. That was Goldberg and Undertaker was not as bad as people say, and it was all because he was concussed. It was Brock Lesnar was not able to cash in on Money in the Bank, and we're going to get to a little more about that in a second. It was Mansoor felt a lot like live show pandering to the live audience, but it still seemed meaningful in a way. And the 4th thing was that through the show, we started talking to each other like, man, the commentating has been so good this show. What's going on? Like, this feels weird. They're so on point right now. And then we realized Corey wasn't talking much. Corey was keeping his mouth shut a lot. Then I realized it's because there aren't women in the show. So he has nothing to fucking say or bring to the table. He had no one to objectify, no one to over-sexualize, no one to get giddy over, no one to get bitter over, no one to try and bury for his own fucking petty sexual frustrations. And it made the show better.
You're not right. Yeah. I feel like the more and more I hear Corey, it's like a bad version of the King.
Yes, he's a horrible version of the King.
It's like scummy Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah. Keep Ibushi and Naito away from each other. Those two nearly killed each other the other night. With all the neck bumps people were talking about.
I think so.
And everyone's all like, they're probably fine. Like, that was like Meltzer's report was, he's probably okay. Look, that's your backstage fucking resources?
I don't speak Japanese, they're probably okay.
Yeah. I had a lot of great resources, I think, based off my Google Translate.
Called, didn't hear ambulances, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Didn't hear the hearse siren. There's not a hearse siren. Don't worry about it.
Pew! Pew! Pew!
It's not a siren stopping.
Yep. Let's see. I did think the 3-on-3, though, it did have a great pace. Braun nearly deadlifts Samoa Joe into a power slam, and that was fucking awesome because it looked like Samoa Joe was sandbagging him, and Braun was like, I don't care. And then Joe slides off. He grabs his belt and runs away. He just like jogs off. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to be in this match.
Yeah. Oh shit, that guy just picked me the fuck up. I'm out of here. And like the way he just jogs away, he's like, looks so cartoony and amazing. I was like, this is fucking perfect, dude. Samoa Joe, so underrated and underappreciated by the fans, not by the company. Company's doing what they will with him. I don't think the fans give him enough credit. Yeah. I really don't. The dude's hysterical. He's on point. He's intimidating.
Favorite theme, favorite wrestler. Always love when I hear a Joe chant. Should hear more Joe chants.
Yeah, I want more Joe shirts.
Oh yeah.
I want there to be like a knocked over Frosty cup with the picture of AJ Styles with red pigtails that say, "Hey Wendy." Actually, maybe I can get away with having 1, 2, 3 pins make that shirt.
a piece of duct tape, red drops on it, Wendy written over it.
Joe doesn't wear a shirt. He wears a towel. It's more than I wear around the house.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I hang out here.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Baron and Sammy have a backstage spot. He tells Charlie to go away, and then he looks over and he's like, I don't like her. And like pointed, so funny. Then we had Becky and Bayley versus Lacey and Alexa. Lacey gets the women's right on Bailey and gets the win. I did think it was a fantastic match. Lacey missed a few spots. It didn't seem like she was quite supposed to be where she was, like quite where she should have been at times. But it played out all right. I did get nervous for her in this match. She went to do the jump, and you kind of see her foot slip a little bit for that moonsault. And I was all like, she's got to... That's one of those moves that I feel like can do more damage to you than to your opponent. All it takes is one mistake, and I feel that like that was like take it easy, Lacey.
I loved the sunset flip buckle bomb, although I think it would have been better not on Alexa Bliss.
No, it had to be on Alexa Bliss, and I'll tell you why. For one, it was a really good pace, great match. Everyone did a really good job with great spots, and Alexa took a hell of a bump into the turnbuckles with that sunset flip into the turnbuckles. I'll tell you why it had to be fucking Alexa. Because she's
got to be back.
She's got to be back. She has to be in it. And if every single match you do with every single little light bump you do, you're going back there with concussions, and I don't feel like I'm ready, then are you in or are you out? This is going to tell us right fucking now. And Becky or Alexa's never been big on taking the big bumps, and here she was. Are you all in, or whatever they say? Are you back? Are you truly back?
You say it like that, I can almost picture her backstage. She's like, oh, I want to make sure she gets a fucking concussion.
Yo, I don't know what goes on backstage. We don't have inside information. But I would not be surprised if the thought process is not isolated to fans who think that Alexa may be crying wolf a little bit on these concussions. I would not be surprised if they're like, that spot's staying in. You know what I mean? Let's fucking prove a point. You know what I mean? You're either in it or you're not in my matches, you know? But I don't know. Let's see, I get nervous anytime Alexa wrestles now. Yeah, I do too. But the thing is I'll say this much: if she's going to be out all the time for stuff, then don't make her the pillar of your storylines. Make her the extras in your storylines. Have her be a part of the storylines, but not the focus of them. And they're making her the focus of them. And what frustrates me is you make her the focus of it, and then the workhorses have to do everything. And watching the Beckys and the Baileys lose their titles to the Alexas, who get to work these half schedules and then get 4 months off after every tiny little bump, then yeah, I want to see you take a fucking buckle bomb from time to time. I want you to be in it. I want you back. You're either back or it's time to take a different role.
What weirded me out is like I've seen in the last 3 matches where she takes a landing to the knee and she like holds her knee and it doesn't like look like it. Like it seems if it's not a real injury, then why are we doing that sell? Because it looks weird.
Yeah, it looks a little weird.
And it doesn't add right. I think she's been good at hosting segments. I also think when we talked about like. Yeah,
she's good with the facial expressions.
She'd be a good foil to Paige. If we're going to have someone be like 2 people who are creating stables, she'd be a great foil to Paige.
That's true. She'd be great. Like, so if you had Paige and the Kabuki Warriors, you could always have Alexa and... What are some other minority women we have to pin them up against?
Samoan Slaughterhouse.
Oh! Gross.
That was the name, wasn't it?
Maybe. You get Nia and Tamina against Asuka and Kairi Sane. That's going to be awful. Dude, they'll break them.
Who?
Kairi Sane's going to be snapped in half. She's going to come off with that elbow, and her whole arm's going to sink into Nia and then be reflected back out, and it's going to snap her arm right off. They're going to hurt them.
That's a more creative way of saying they get hurt in a match against those two. Then, well, I'm sure a lot of people would say they're going to be crushed.
Yeah, no, they're gonna bounce off of someone.
You ever seen a woman You ever seen a small Asian woman get run over by a Mack truck?
I do think that that's true, though. If you were truly trying to build the women's tag division, and their problem with the women's division now is you're concerned about their ability to carry the mic, you have enough women who can be in the title picture for one-on-one. Move Alexa over into a managing position like you did Paige. Now you can have these 2 people battling for the tag division.
Do we, though? Because I don't feel like, and we'll get to this SmackDown, I haven't seen really any of the Raw women's division other than Lacey and I guess Nikki.
Where's Naomi?
Where's Naomi? Where's Dana?
What show is Carmella on?
SmackDown?
SmackDown, right?
I mean, she's on everything now. It's. We'll get to this in SmackDown because it's like, okay, these 5 people you like are on both shows. Cool. Where's everyone else?
Yeah. Let's see. After that, we get Sammy and Shane cutting a promo where Shane takes Sammy's idea to be an outside referee. And it was great because Sammy goes, I think that's genius. Like, he had his idea blatantly stole in front of him, and his response is like, you're a fucking genius. It was so good. I thought they both played off each other really well. I think Sammy's fucking perfect at this. I think that he can't cut a bad promo. He can't not be entertaining. He can't be bad in the ring. Yeah. Like, I think that this is your golden goose right here, if you use him right, I guess.
Absolutely.
After that, we get Paul Heyman cutting an incredible promo laying out Brock's potential terror. And this was the only exciting bit out of Super Showdown, and the stupid bit with the fucking Money in the Bank shit. Like I said right when he won it, I would love to see a year-long reign of terror of Brock Lesnar showing up, not cashing in, showing up and beating the shit out of someone and being like, I don't even fucking want your title, and walking out.
Yeah.
This could be the beginning of a really perfect way to utilize Brock Lesnar.
I want him when he cashes it in. I want that briefcase to be beat to shit from hurting people. I want it stained with blood and stuff and all dented to hell. Because just come out and beat the fuck out of someone and he's like, here, and it's just fucked, and you're like, damn.
He goes to hand it to the ref, and the ref puts on gloves real quick. He's cashing it in.
Trouble opening. Give me a second. I'd love that, yeah.
Renji brings up a good point. With Shane not having an hour on each show, there's no point of having a show at all. I will say this. The best part of the build-up to Super Showdown is that we had probably a collective 7 hours worth of skits of Shane McMahon. That was probably 20 minutes worth of repeated skits, but we didn't need any minutes at all of Finn Balor and Andrade. I felt like that was very refreshing and nice to see.
Yeah. We need more McMahons. That's what my takeaway is. I think the only thing we could do is add in Stephanie for another hour.
Yes.
To each show.
The problem with Stephanie, though, is that she's not exactly the best in the world.
Let's do a women's tournament and have Stephanie win that one.
Ooh, bestest of the world. That could be good.
I could see them doing that. It's not like hostess. Bestest.
Oh, Shadow says the best part of the Super Showdown was the match on the plane. That might be true.
That was great. I love when he pulls down the one. Was it for
Mojo. I love when Mojo's staring and then he just looks over at him and he puts the blanket back. Oh my God, Mojo was so good.
Heyman. Okay, Heyman always cuts a good promo. Heyman looks kind of like. I'm worried.
He looks like Porky Pig.
He's getting big.
He was reminded me a little bit of Paul Bearer before they gave him the surgery.
And he's like red immediately. And it's like, dude.
Yeah, but he's intense and stuff. I agree that he's starting to get to the big point where you start going like, I don't want less years of potential Paul Heyman. And he's a father. I want him to have a long life.
And he's not that old.
He's not
like
that
50.
old. Like, I think that it would be best for him to get maybe that surgery thing, or because I mean, once you're that size too, that stuff gets really difficult and all that. And so I don't want to be like, oh, start working out. It could be, hey man,
get him on some DDPY.
Oh, yeah. Brock's feeding Heyman too much after midnight. That's probably true.
Yeah.
I did like that spot when before he's like yells at Heyman to go get him a steak. Just yell, go get me a steak, make it rare. Let's see. After that, we went back to the 24/7 belt in the elevator. I think this is when EC3 says he's going to eat Truth's ass with a fork. That's what I got out of it. It was tough to tell.
Yeah.
Let's see. After this, we had the Iconics. I honestly forgot about the women's tag titles. How sad is this? They say they are defending champions. They challenge some jobbers. Actually annoyed, this is actually true. I made this comment out loud. I wrote down. I was actually annoyed. I went pee during the commercial break instead of during this. I came back. I rushed on the commercial break to pee. I came back, sat down, and as I was watching, I was like, this is a absolute perfect time to go pee, and I've wasted it by peeing earlier. I didn't know how to waste my time at that point. Funny watching the audience have zero reaction. After the entire match, after the whole thing, they're panning the audience, and they're all sitting there with their arms crossed like this. And then it even cuts to the commentators where you can see more of the audience, and even more of them just like this. They're just like, this is what we're watching. It was fucking devastating, man. I got a plaque of when the Elimination Chamber match where they win it because I was so excited about these tag titles as a thing. And then they do this to them, man, and it's just sad.
Put a note, Marsh is going to shut a break and go off on this for like 10 minutes. Egg Marsh, and then put Egg Marsh sandwich now.
You can be, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I was thinking about it, and I agree with you. It's such shit. I'm so tired of this. I want someone. If you're gonna be shitty heels, this is okay. But like, give us some more matches.
This isn't even shitty heels. This is shitty acting.
Yeah.
This is not entertaining.
No, I agree.
This is bad TV. Their whole fucking bird gimmick thing and their Muppet run, like.
Yeah, I know. I liked them. I don't like it anymore. Tired of it.
The fact they're walking around humping their belts like they're fucking Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, when they were doing that.
Fuck?
Yeah.
Not.
If I ever, and I'm never gonna be in a space where I get a belt, I would do that though. No, like not like buy it, like legit. I'm gonna walk around like humping.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll do like the Revival did. That was good.
Yeah.
Actually, we're getting to that right now. So let's see. After this, we get Shane doing the celebration with Drew McIntyre. The crowd chanting "boring," and nothing else was really memorable to that except for a Revival coming out.
Well, and Shane kept like having to catch his breath. I noticed that he was like, "Fuck, dude," which similar in a different way. It's like you're not big, but like you're always winded.
Yeah, he's always winded. I've always felt that it was weird that in all of his promos, he talks to the mic is so high up that you hear his nose breathing. He always says things. And he's like, and it's like, fuck, dude. Like, how come no one else is nose breathing into the mic like you? You're doing something wrong, man. But here he was, all winded and shit. I did think it was funny how he drank out of the cup, especially with the Stanley Cup coming around. Whenever that is, it could be any day now, I suppose.
Tonight is Game 7. We will have an answer tonight.
Tonight, next week, this month sometime.
That's where goddamn Kevlar is.
It's not even one of his fucking teams, man. Whatever. Let's see.
I mean, ask him how the fuck the Blues did.
I hope they lose. Whatever team he's going for, I hope they lose so
Let's
bad,
go for
dude.
the Blues, but I can't stand Boston, so.
Oh, dude, he's got to hate Boston. I want Boston to win. Fuck yeah, dude. Happy Gilmore the whole way. This is a Happy Gilmore podcast. Let's see. This isn't even a podcast, actually. Anyways, let's see. So the Revival comes out and they say they're going to have a drink, and Shane says no, and then he goes, not until you go out and win the thing. Oh, it just finished?
Speaking of winning, Stackhouse, who won?
Hey, Stackhouse, give us an update. What's going on with the Stanley Cup?
Break some goddamn news.
I was going to say, dude, we could play it back here, so we could have had live coverage of it as it's happening. Like, we could literally be like, oh, this guy just made a thing, and oh, goal. Oh, wait, they just got a kick. Oh. You know? Do the whole thing.
Just got a kick, and that's why someone got ejected. There's someone with a skate through their fucking eye. It's a lot of blood. I would be down for it.
Do the whole thing. Be like, oh, look at people are circling the thing.
Yeah.
But
while they're figuring that out.
While we wait for Stackhouse to give us the update, I hope he's got a really colorful way of telling us how that went down. But
please tell me someone murdered Chara.
I did think it was neat that Revival said something along the lines of, "Oh, you got a deal on that." He goes, "You can't drink right now. You have a match." He goes, "We'll be back afterwards when you get the title or whatever." Then we get the Revivals versus Uso versus Ryder and Hawkins for the titles. I think it was a fantastic finish with the Usos doing all the work there at the end. Dawson tags himself in, goes for the pin while laughing in the face of the Usos while Dash is holding his leg. Like, what a great, shitty win. So good. Great ring awareness as it was. Awesome pace through the whole match. Everyone looked good.
Yeah.
This is the type of match that should be on pay-per-views and stuff.
No, and I thought, like, finally, I felt like we needed to file a missing persons report on Hawkins and Ryder because we hadn't seen them. And every time the Usos or the Revival came out, I'm like, cool, they're the champs, right? No, they're not. Yeah. Who is the champs?
I was trying to figure out the other day. It took me like 10 minutes to remember who it was. Still waiting on those updates. Let's see.
God damn it.
So, anything else on that match? I thought it was great.
Oh, when you mentioned the thing about them drinking, I thought it would have been funny if they made an Arn Anderson joke.
Yeah, I do think that it could have been cool if after that match it did show a backstage promo with them having a drink with Shane to kind of promote that faction they seem to be sort of building.
Yeah.
St. Louis won.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
All right, St. Louis won Stanley Cup for the first time in 52 years. All right, well, fuck them. Fuck each and every one of them. I don't know. Sounds good. I guess it's exciting. I don't know if it's an underdog story or not. Like
A little bit, but
4-1. Well, I mean, weren't they super strong this year? Weren't a lot of people talking about them this year? I thought I heard.
not like late, but not early on.
No. All right, well.
I mean, my team was in the playoffs and got knocked out.
The Penguins.
Leafs.
Oh,
I love
figured
Toronto.
it was the Penguins because of the look of you.
Fair.
That's why I thought that.
Because of Waddle. I mean,
That's how you walk.
I'm
man.
I'm gonna shut up now because they are my second favorite team.
Yeah. And you're my third favorite co-host.
Aw. Wait. Fuck.
Let's see. After that, we got Firefly Funhouse. The Raptors are winning tomorrow. I hope so. I like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with dinosaurs. Oh, yeah, remember that? Who was it that did that? Was it Dane Cook?
Ooh, I don't like Dan Cook.
Well,
Okay.
let's see. So we got the Firefly Funhouse. It's getting a lot less slightly dark and getting a lot more very dark.
Yeah.
Hanging a sign that says "Abandon all hope, all who exit here." Bray Wyatt kills the Rambling Rabbit with a big sledgehammer, a circusy sledgehammer, by the way, for threatening to tell what's really going on in the Funhouse. A few things here. Let's go ahead and talk about it. A lot of speculation. This has to do with Dean Ambrose. I'm not buying into that.
No.
Okay. Something else I think that people did not notice, which I pointed out on the replay, is the hammer. That the end of it is the Fiend's face. It's his eyes and mouth, but it's on there kind of sloppily, but it's clearly there. And everyone's talking about the dots on the side of it, saying it's dice, and it has to do with double or nothing.
No.
They were not dice. It was literally 2 lines of dots around the outside of the thing. It was just a squarish mallet. The other thing people are trying to say is that he opened up saying Konnichiwa, which is Japanese. Therefore, it's about Jon Moxley. The fuck out of here. He says weird shit in every episode.
This feels like we're watching one of those videos that they're talking about how the Illuminati's in like...
Yeah. The other thing was that Bray had drawn clown makeup on his eyes.
And it
just
wasn't
the
meant to
lines.
look like... It wasn't supposed to look like Chris Jericho.
It was not meant to look like Jericho's stupid eye makeup, which does make him look like a clown, by the way.
No, his match work does.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Goddamn. Ruining everything I love about you,
The
Jericho.
sign behind Bray that said, abandon all hope, all ye who exit here. I will say this. If that is a play, because we have seen a lot of like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? We have seen a lot of like the evil Vince and you're not getting a push because you're fat and all this kind of backstage, innuendo type stuff. I will say that if it is one of those things where it's all like, hey, you have no hope without, it's a Fozzy lyric?
Yeah, but Jericho does a lot of Fozzy lyrics that are somewhat religious. It's also biblical.
Yeah, which song? I'll look it up. But I don't know. I mean, it's not. Was it Judas? It's not the Judas one, is it? But I will say I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit of that like inside thing. But I wouldn't say that it has directly to do. I'm not buying it has directly to do with Dean or Jericho.
Yeah.
Unless this is some crazy play where they come back, which I don't think is happening.
That would be cool, but I don't... Yeah.
Yeah, but and even then, let's say that was inspired by the Fozzy lyric as a little bit of a dig at Jericho. That other shit to me doesn't add up at all. That was typical clown music, or clown makeup, mime kind of look. But that's not dice. I don't think the whole thing had anything to do with either one of them. But I could buy into the idea of them saying the sign is there because when someone leaves the company, maybe people talk mad shit when they leave. Oh, good luck out there with a fucking smirk on their face. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was it. Because it's the other thing that I think the Funhouse is doing is feeding into a lot of those rumors and innuendos that are out there. The Devil McMahon saying all those things.
Yeah.
That wasn't big. I mean, my personal belief, I don't think that was because Vince is the devil who told Bray he's going to eat him if he doesn't lose weight. I think it's because that's the perception people have, and I think the Funhouse is feeding into those dirt sheets, and I think that they're putting that stuff out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was more of a dig at that and less a direct dig at these two wrestlers who left. You know what I mean? I feel like it's more of a dirt sheet thing, personally. Yeah. But that's really neat. I guess, did you find what song that was a Fozzy lyric? We got a producer right now looking up Abandon All Hope, All Ye Who Exit Here with Fozzy lyrics and is finding nothing. So if you could tell us which song that is, that'd be helpful. Double check the Judas lyrics themselves, see if it's that song, because that is his entrance song. So that could have a little bit more meaning behind it. But Shadow King's also having a hard time finding them or is trying to find them. Let us know if you find it. Maybe that was another rumor. We'll find out. We're gonna crush that rumor right now, or we're gonna expose it.
Oh, real quick before we get to the final thing, I wanted to say. Also, I don't know about you, but on the USA app, when I looked for this episode, it showed like Goldberg as the picture for the episode.
That was last episode.
No, when I came up for this one.
You were lying.
I don't know how I'm fucking
The Blues, up. Baby. Does Fozzy have a song called The Blues?
No.
Oh, The Blues won. He's talking about the Blues, how they Blues won.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's not Boston.
Was it down the middle? I mean, that's good. I guess if you want to watch Team 50 Years, I'm a Cubs fan, so that's like, fuck them. Waited twice that long.
How did you feel when the D-backs won the World Series after being in existence like 9 years?
Yeah, right. That and yeah.
Well, that was also great because I love when I was a kid watching that and they were building up This Is America's team because it was the Yankees right after 9/11 and fucking Arizona won.
Arizona's like, fuck America.
Nah, the infidels. Yeah.
So I think that the Firefly Funhouse is getting to a point where soon we're going to see Bray do something. Yes. I don't know who we're going to see him up against yet. I think you have to be careful with how you book it right. Because, I mean, I think the obvious answer would be someone like maybe an Aleister Black. Let's play. You know what I mean? If you're begging someone to come after me, here's Bray Wyatt telling him, oh, you don't have to fight, you know, and then the Fiend comes out and be like, but I'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? Like, you could do something like that. I do think him building a strong character and eventually getting into some kind of Undertaker retirement storyline could be great.
I'd like him to bury Lars.
Lars would be a really good one for him to get through, especially if they're cooling off on him, which is possible.
We've talked about Mojo versus Bray.
I think that'd be cool, but I think that Bray could be part of. I think Mojo could be part of like Bray's like family or faction, as it were. He could be part of the Funhouse.
He could be like how in Blue's Clues when the one guy left.
Yeah.
He takes over when Bray's done doing vignettes, so it's Mojo's Funhouse or co-host.
Yeah. But apart from that, where he is like metaphorically, I think that it is. I think it's that burnt down shed. I think the shed that Randy Orton burnt down, Abigail's house, I think is where we're going to find out he is. I think he's going to eventually cut to something more dirty and grimy, and it's going to be all like, oh, this is where I'm at. So
yeah.
We'll see. I think we're going to get to a place soon. I don't feel like they can drag this on for too many weeks longer. I'm guessing 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
I'm guessing right after Stomping Ground.
Yeah.
To build into SummerSlam.
Yeah, I like that because you can't really build a feud for him to start for Stomping Ground.
Yeah. That's my guess. We'll see what's going on. After that, we get the final segment of Raw. We get Seth versus Kevin Owens with guest outside referee Sami Zayn. Dante's Divine Comedy. Oh, shit. Dante's Divine Comedy is way more up Bray Wyatt's alley than Jericho music.
Oh, way you yeah.
What? It's true.
Yeah, I like that.
1814. Yeah, so that also could mean that if it's in Dante's Divine Comedy, if it is a Jericho lyric or a Fozzy lyric, it's probably also in reference to Dante's Divine Comedy. Sort of like how I have one of my tattoos that says "Nothing gold can stay." Tell me where you think it's from, and you're probably right. And there's 3 different answers.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, you're an idiot.
Okay.
God. It's supposed to be the inscription at the entrance to hell. Whoa! That's way fucking sicker than a Fozzy lyric. Jesus! The entrance to hell? Ooh, and WWE's hell. Bray's trying to go to AEW. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. If we could keep looking, though, I do want to know if Fozzy ever did use that lyric. But so far, it sounds a lot like this is more in alignment with what we're seeing.
All I know is I'm tattooing that on my ass cheeks.
Is that someone said that?
No, I'm doing that.
You're probably going to accidentally tattoo it's supposed to be the inscription at the entrance to hell. That's probably what's going to say on your ass.
Inscription to the entrance of hell.
No. Shadow King says he's halfway through their discography. I don't know, dude. Maybe we were lied to. Let's see. So Sammy and KO are so entertaining together. So fucking good. Sammy in there patting down Seth and all that.
And then KO just...
Yeah, for KO he just does it, and then KO just walks over to the ref. You never touched me like he did. Like, so fucking funny.
I like them not fighting each other.
Yeah.
They're better as a pair.
They're so good together. I don't think they can do anything bad together. Like when they hate each other, no one hates each other more than those dudes. And when they're best friends, no one's the bestest of friends but them. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I just think we've seen too much of the fighting, so
I think that we need to keep cool from that.
Yeah.
But I would like to see eventually them to get their WrestleMania moment together.
Fair, yes.
But let's see. Seth gets disqualified for messing with Sammy, which was that accidental bump thing. Really great heat with Sammy pulling the ref out.
But he called first and they didn't do it because they said he didn't have the authority, and then he did it again, and then they called it, and I felt like that was like...
I didn't catch them say he didn't have the authority. I caught him discussing with the ref he should be disqualified, and him saying, oh, I don't know. And then when he hit him, the ref was also like, oh, and so that's when he's all like, fucking do it, and then it happened. I need an ice cube, and I don't want you to put it in there because I have seen the way you work. So Seth gets disqualified for messing with Sammy. I think there was really great heat in this match. Great heel antics by KO and Sammy both. There we go. Little wiener and balls ice cube. Seth gets to beat up on Sammy, and the crowd goes home happy. This is, again, I felt like getting back to fundamentals. We led into this match to begin with. We had really good defined, like, heel taking advantage over the face getting cheated out of a victory, and then at the same time the face gets his revenge on the dirty, nasty heel who cheated him out of his win. So the crowd goes home happy, and you got really good heel heat on these guys. I felt like this whole segment was the most entertaining segment that I've seen Seth in well over a year.
Yeah. Fair.
We've already got Smackdown up. No. It was a good match. Otherwise, I felt like KO and Seth can put on a good show together. I feel like you throw in Sami Zayn in the mix as an outside enforcer, and it's just going to be fucking funny. And it was all those things. Really great. Let's see, that brings us to SmackDown Live. Which still no Liv Morgan.
Yep.
Come on, guys. It opens up with Miz TV.
And Corey opening, I caught him saying, asks why the Miz is out there 2 nights in a row, and I agree.
Yeah. I was fucking annoyed at that, too.
Do you mind if I jump a little bit?
Get it.
So, why is this feud happening? Like, I'm really tired of Shane. We've talked about this. I'm really tired of Miz, Shane, and Roman together because it feels like you're taking what could be many feuds for many different people and putting a bunch of your talent into one feud, kind of like amorphously against each other. It also affects Elias and Drew. It just, I don't get it. Like, why is Miz scripting? Why is this happening? Why is it not over after the cage match? Why is Roman not going after just Drew. It just felt like it's frustrating.
Did we even get Roman last night?
No, we actually had a week without Roman on it, other than promos, like where it was pre-recorded, which is fine. But he's just been a part of this for so long.
Yeah, no. It was kind of refreshing to not have Roman out there. Like I said, I do think a little bit of absence can make the heart grow fonder on some of this stuff. Baron Corbin's whole character, nothing so far, but your character and finisher is Fozzy related. I'm interested in that. Get into it. Or if you got a link you want me to read up on, the idea of Baron Corbin being directly related to Fozzy and the music. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's a Fozzy song called "The End of Days." Well, I mean, there's a lot of things called "End of Days."
Yeah. There's a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, called "End of Days."
Maybe he's a Schwarzenegger fan though.
Yeah.
Let's see. The show opens up with the most boring talk show in the history of WWE, Miz TV. And he's reading a script and is misreading the pest of the world.
And breast
so
of the world.
funny.
Yeah.
Corey then starts talking shit about the Miz, complaining about him being on there.
Which I agree. I mean, the drafts allow stories to be created and like.
McIntyre's promo that he cut in the Miz TV was so fucking cookie cutter. Roman lets his emotions get the best of him.
Yeah.
But I'm different than everybody else because I enjoy hurting people. I have something no one else has. A kick. You know what I mean? Like his whole...
My boomstick.
Yeah. Yeah. The boomstick shit. The fucking... I'm a bad guy. I'm smart. You're an idiot. And you let your emotions get the better of you. You dumb face. And then his whole... Everyone else you fight isn't like me because I like hurting people. Samoa Joe's done that promo 40 times better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it was just such a fucking, like, hey, we need a heel promo real quick. Let's just grab the one from ever and use it again.
Here, we had this. I mean, we're crossing out the names, but just you go at it.
They didn't even use names.
Yeah.
If you listen to it isolated and you read it as a script, maybe I'll write it out and show you. If you just read it as it was with no names in there, you would have no idea who said it and when. It could literally be used anytime you ever had a heel talk about a face ever. It was so generic. It was upsetting. Then Shane sets up a gauntlet match for Miz to get to him. So we get Miz versus Elias, Drew, and Shane.
Elias needs better booking because it feels like he's the jobber of this. And he's over, and he shouldn't be. Drew... I could see, really, these all. I would rather the B team be with Shane than these two, because like these guys are over, and you've just ruined them.
Yeah, it's making. I don't understand what's going on with Elias. The dude is so good, and even put that in the first match here. We get Miz versus Elias, and Elias looks amazing. He does the top rope walk, which looks great. He did the meteor off the top there. Looked a little different than normal, but it still looked pretty cool. If he's doing this like top of the shoulder, nut check to the ground, I'm into it. He jumped off the top rope a couple of times, looking great. Even the way he exited the ring to get to the top rope looked super athletic. He like just kind of hopped over it. And you're like, who hops over the top rope? And then eventually Miz gets the win with Skull Crushing finale for no fucking reason. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But Elias looked absolutely amazing. And it's like you said, I feel like that's pretty poor booking because at the end of the day, I don't always believe that like good booking means wins, but I do believe this is poor booking because he's such a strong character. He doesn't need to be the fifth wheel and the resident jobber for a storyline that nobody's interested in.
I think good book, it doesn't have to be wins, but it has to be things that make sense, and this doesn't make sense. Like they could be. There's so many better ways to like if. I can think of spots where, like, okay, this person losing, because whenever you're a match, there's a winner and a loser. It makes sense for this person to lose. It makes sense for this person to win. If I can think of 20 different ways for this to be better and have better people and be different, then this isn't great booking. But to his credit, he's selling this shit out of it. He's trying.
Oh, he's putting it all out there. He's putting in that 110% on each one, which is even more reason why I'm like, why is he not going for any titles? This guy should be in the Intercontinental Championship story.
Yeah.
He should. Who's your champion on there? Kofi? There's no reason why he couldn't go for Kofi.
Intercontinental Champion?
No, I said who's the world champion. It's Kofi.
Kofi.
That's what I mean. But like Demon and Finn and Elias could have a great set of matches. They already had some, so I'd be more interested in seeing Elias versus Kofi, but I think it'd be believable.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why Elias wouldn't believe he could beat Kofi, and any reason why they wouldn't put on a fucking clinic of how to put on the most amazing match. Like, that would be a great rivalry. And even in a loss, Elias could still be all like, yeah, whatever, I had an off night, you know?
Yeah, if Drew's going to be focused on Roman and Miz too, then have Elias have some focus where he's building him up his strength.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
But then again, I also don't want Kofi or someone else with the belt sucked into this vortex of Shane.
Yeah, I want Shane out of it. Let's see. Miz and Drew McIntyre. Drew gets the win with an assist from Shane. And, one spot I did notice was Miz fell off the top rope.
Yep.
He tried to do this springboard and he totally slipped. I was like, oh, shit. And Michelle was looking down and she's all like, what happened? Like, she thought it was a good move. I was like, Miz ate shit. He slipped. He nearly died, but he's fine. And he was totally fine. He landed great. So it's good. I didn't want to see him hurt.
Yeah.
But
No shit.
you fucked up.
Yeah.
Shane then declares that he's going to give Miz the match anyway. Shane wins with a triangle and beats the shit out of him. And Shane shows off a really gnarly bruise on his arm. I don't know where it came from or why. I imagine it had to happen at Super Showdown. But it was gnarly as hell. After that, we got Ember Moon having a backstage spot with Mandy and Sonya where Ember snaps and screams. This could be good, man. Mandy, Sonya, Ember, the three of them could be great together.
Yeah, but I don't know about, like, I felt like Ember, like, just, like, gets her thing broken, screams and throws it. I was like, it didn't feel like, if we're going to make this person, I feel like they try and make her, like, book her as this, like, warrior.
Yeah.
That didn't really, I mean, yeah, it looked angry, but it looked kind of like a pissed off 12-year-old kid.
It looks a little tantrumish, but it's just because they've been booking her as so timid.
Yeah.
And so I like to sit here and read. I play games by myself, and it's like, what? And so it feels like, she feels like the little kid on the playground who's gotten picked on too much, and now she's fucking ready to kick shit. Which maybe this is her new origin story, I don't know, but...
I mean, she is, like, she does do that stuff outside of it, but, like, give her matches where she does things. Give her matches where she looks like a fucking badass.
And that's where I'm hoping this is going.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is the build to Ember, having a great rivalry between these two. You could even get Carmella in the mix. Like, you could have a bunch of cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why Bayley can't be involved in that too. Get the title in here floating around.
Yeah.
Get Ember teaming up with someone to take down Mandy and Sonya. Now you got a whole other tag division to start talking about, right? Now you get 3 or 4 tag teams out there. So maybe they use this to build the tag division into being something that it could have been, that it's not.
I feel like the SmackDown women's division looks fantastic. But,
yeah.
And it includes members of the Raw women's division currently.
Mm-hmm. The dark matches that Ember had in response to that was she was in a triple threat with Liv Morgan and Bayley for the title. Sounds like it'd be an amazing match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep doing it. So maybe they'll do Ember and Liv against Sonya and Mandy. So Bray Wyatt's crazy. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
And that's why I want him to ultimately be the one to retire Undertaker. I think both Bray Wyatt has deserved a meaningful win over the dead man, and I think Undertaker deserves a meaningful loss to the new scariest motherfucker that the WWE's seen in a long, long time. I think they deserve each other in that.
Well, and I think you could also do, like, there was a thing that was, I remember being brought up a few years ago where when having Undertaker lose, but having him lose not as Undertaker, but as Mark Calloway, where he puts it all away, he goes in as the guy.
No, he's got to go in as the Fiend. He's got to go up against the Fiend. He's got to be the dead man. You don't have the Fiend take out the old man. You have the Fiend take out the dead man. A fucking old man on a rocking chair. Who's Phoebe?
What? The moon on Mars? No, that's Phobos.
I mean, Phoebe from Friends, I know. If this turns into a Lisa Kudrow angle, I am into it. Smelly Bray, Smelly Bray, what are they feeding you?
I've never
Rambling Rabbit Jam. That's what they're feeding him.
I've never seen Friends.
What?
I've never seen Friends.
It's because you don't have any. That's probably why you don't have any.
You're the first person to actually make that joke.
Um,
Ouch.
the blacked out letters spell Phoebe if it's rearranged. But do you have any insight to who that Phoebe might be? Because I mean, I'm not saying that's not creepy, but who the fuck's Phoebe? If Abigail has been his creepy underling, who's Phoebe? And I can't even think of an old Phoebe, like wrestling gimmick of that type of thing. So remember we talked about Rambling Rabbit and Percy having old ties to different things. I can't think of an old tie for a Phoebe. So if you have any insight to that, I'm happy to hear it. I love Bray Wyatt shit. That dude's nuts.
Yeah.
And I love all the speculation going on to it. And you saw, I'm guessing, he put in a promo 3 years ago in like 8 consecutive promos, one line that didn't match the rest of its promo because it made its own promo. And then it turns out that those lines were the names of each of the episodes of Firefly Funhouse as they've been released. What the fuck? Dude's a nut job. I'm into it. Let's see. We get Daniel Bryan and Rowan coming out with the same old belts.
Yep.
They challenge the Yolo County Tag Team Champions in a unification match. I did like it was going to be a unification match.
I did like the Yellow Championship belts looked more biodegradable and earth-friendly.
They did. They look totally biodegradable and earth-friendly. Those guys are guys from Cactus League Wrestling. Do you know what Cactus League Wrestling is?
It's a promotion in the Southwest. Right.
Tucson. That is a local promotion.
Oh, but from here.
These guys wrestle in North California. They're local there, but they are on the Cactus League roster. So every time the Cactus League does, because they only do like once every month or two.
Oh, cool.
They come out for those. So these are local, non-local guys.
Nice. They also did one of the guys did a cool thing where there was a fan out in California who had his house burned down.
That is cool.
Well, yes, they committed arson, but he had his house burned down and all his wrestling memorabilia was lost, and they got him. He brought him out. He met Becky Lynch backstage, and it was a really cool thing.
The disabled kid?
Yeah.
His house was burned down?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Can't catch a break. How'd he get out in time? What is concerned? Saying. That's really cool, though. And Becky did put out a really cool tweet about it, talking about how much it meant to her to meet fans like him and how big of a fan he was. Apparently, he had a ton of memorabilia.
Yeah, had.
Yeah. So, but apparently, there's a few like wrestling people who got together, like a bunch of wrestling fans got together to like send him memorabilia and shit, give him new shit.
Is it flammable? Because we might want to work on that.
You know, flame retardant.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything that I'm willing to give up, but I appreciate the effort. But these are mine.
Yeah.
I own these now. Is his name Marsh? Because a lot of stuff says Marsh on it.
Yeah, that's.
If his name's Marsh, I'll send him
Scraw.
something. I'll send him a Jerry Lawler autograph if his name is Marsh. Because I have 40. Because Jerry Lawler's crazy. I love that guy. He retweeted me the other day.
Yeah.
At Ref Marsh, give me a follow. Speaking of follow, put the I in following in the no notifications, and tell all your friends that we do accept Prime Subscribe. We accept your free subscriptions.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I did like that it was a unification match. That did make me laugh. Let's see. After that, we had Heavy Machinery coming out and challenging the Planet's champions. So they got a match with the YOLO champions, and Heavy Machinery won in a stunning upset.
Otis is a national fucking treasure.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I have a typo in here. It says Harvey Machinery wins. That's pretty good.
I love new favorite tag team, Harvey Machinery.
Harvey Machinery.
Picturing two guys coming out with golf caps.
Well, Harvey was a 6-foot rabbit. Don't mind his stare. That's just his way.
Where is this from? That I should know and I don't?
What? It's a Jimmy Stewart movie.
Okay, cool.
I think it's literally called Harvey. Let's see. I did like there was a WWE.com exclusive video that showed Sonya and Mandy Rose backstage, and Heavy Machinery comes by with the YOLO championships.
Nice.
They have them on their shoulder. So I hope they come back out with them later on. Let's see. Carmella and R-Truth have a spot here where Carmella locks R-Truth in the box.
He calls it the 7-Eleven Championship.
He calls it the 7-Eleven Championship. Carmella's got great facial expressions when talking with Truth. Because he does that, and there's like even a gif of it of Carmella being like...
Yeah.
She does this weird like...
The fuck? Yeah.
And it's this super Muppety kind of confused, and then like, okay, and it's so fucking funny. She killed Tip. And then after that, Jinder pretends to be Carmella. Truth. Here I'm Truth. Here I'm Carmella. Hey, Truth. Let's see. Sonya versus Carmella. I did think it was a really good match. Mandy did get involved. Sonya gets the win. I felt like overall, though, everyone involved looked really good.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. I didn't see much as far as like sloppy wrestling or bad this or that. I felt like everyone was involved great. I felt like the emotions of the match were there. I felt like, you know, the cheating them out of the victory for the face. I felt like all of it was there. I felt like it was just good wrestling.
I think we don't see a lot of Sonya Deville in the ring as a single. We should, because she's really good.
Yeah,
and also more of it. I hope it continues on. I hope it doesn't end after this month.
I agree. I know they were starting to hint towards a Sonya and Mandy kind of rivalry, like a breakup, but I'd rather see them stay united and go for the tag titles. I feel like they could bring legitimacy to the tag titles.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I'm trying to think of other women in the division who could. And I know clearly Iconics have no concept of that or desire to do that or have any reason to ever be in a ring again or should be off TV forever in general. Or maybe they're both idiots because they're around Sean Spears so much and he's a douchebag. Either way, I think that Sonya and Mandy could be good for those titles.
Yeah.
And I think the Iconics are awful for wrestling in general, titles aside.
I think it was the one thing I thought was really, really weird during this match. The announcers brought up R-Truth multiple times. And it was like, focus on the match, guys. We have something going on in the ring. I get that Carmella's attached to that, but...
Yeah, but they also they were bringing up the point of like, without Carmella, would R-Truth even be a champion still? And, you know, she's just as much a 24/7 champion as he is. And there's a lot of like validity to that. So I agree, but I also understand. Let's see. After that, we do get Alexa and Nikki doing a promo together. I believe this is when Alexa was showing that she blocked Bayley and talked about all of Bayley's tweets and stuff. And Nikki was kind of like, what are you talking about? It does look like Nikki's starting to second guess Alexa.
Yeah.
Which
I'm cool with, because I don't want Nikki to be in a, like, I'd rather see rivalry than see them attached any longer, because I'm really tired of this.
I think that if they kept them attached, have them go for the titles, right? Which would be good. But I think that I do have heat with Sean Spears, Stackhouse. I do. Some legit heat. Yo, my brother tells me last night, my brother does comedy and stuff, there was an AWA guy, or AEW guy. AWA, that's fucking Lawler. AWA champ, Lawler. My dude! He goes, there's an AEW guy at my show last night. And I was like, oh, cool, who? And he's like, he's new to AEW. He just signed, but he was talking about being in AEW, even though he was only announced today. He goes, but it was Sean Spears. I was like, fuck that guy. Like, that's fucking Ty Dillinger, the prick. I will say this, name calling aside to that piece of shit. I have run into him now probably 4 times. And every time he's been incredibly rude. And I have not one of these dudes who hangs out lurking, asking for free shit. I am the type to say hi. Or, oh, hey, if someone, like, gives me eye contact.
Literally like that. Oh,
yeah,
hey.
Oh, hey. Yeah. But I'm not asking for autographs. I'm not even asking for pictures. Sometimes I'll go to shake their hand. Or I'll just say, oh, thanks, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? And just move on. I don't ask for shit. And this dude is super rude every time I've run into him. Even at StarCast, when he was just standing at a table where I'm supposed to come up and want to buy stuff from him, I walked up to look at him again and say, like, oh, is he going to be a dick? And he's like on his phone, looks up, and looks back down. And I was all like, fuck you, dude. I could have had $40 I'm trying to give away.
Yeah.
Like, it seems to me that the dude is only nice who he feels he needs to be nice to when he wants to be nice to them. And it's not just this blanket, he's just a nice guy in wrestling. This is a douchebag in wrestling who's nice to people sometimes.
It's like MJF, but...
But he's real!
Yeah.
Man, if MJF did the same thing, I'd be like, yeah, the dude's awesome. But this dude tries to play up like he's a good dude. Fuck that. No, I got heat with Sean Spears. I'll
And-
kick him in the nuts. I'll Brock Lesnar his ass.
Unscripted interview with MJF. I just tried to be like Sean Spears.
Oh yeah, that's probably his inspiration.
Cool. Did he have those dumbass contacts when he was there?
No, he took him out. I thought that too. That's why I was kind of looking at him. I was like,
Dipshit ass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I will say in that fucking battle royal, he was like the second dude to jump and beat up on the fucking dude with no legs after MJF. So just fucking take that with you.
He's now copying MJF.
Yes, MJF goes to beat up the dude with no legs, and Sean Spears is like, I could fuck that guy up too. Yeah, you probably could, Sean Spears.
Yeah.
You fuck.
Perfect 10 my ass.
Perfect 10 piece of shit. Sometimes I turd so good, I go, that's a fucking Ty Dillinger.
He's a fucking Kansas
That
7.
is a 10 turd.
Kansas 7 at best.
Oh, yeah. It's a Tucson 4.
Yeah.
That's right. I said it. Matt Brown's better looking than you. Yeah, Matt Brown,
And I'm better looking than
Sean Spears.
The legend continues.
Let's see. We do have... Oh, Shadow's got some more information on Bray Wyatt. I am in. Derail me with some Bray Wyatt. I do not mind. Although, if you're personal friends with Sean Spears Stackhouse, I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
Well,
Let's
I'll
see.
still say he's kind of shitty.
Yeah, well, he's shitty to me.
I've never met him. I have no personality of my own.
Rambling Rabbit is his critics. I 100% agree, and I think that's... I don't disagree with that at all. Saying Rambling Rabbit is his critics and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I would smash my critics with a fucking hammer. Spears, looking at you. No, someone has to acknowledge you more than that to be a critic. So, let's see. After that, we get the New Day promo. Talking a promo with Ziggler, Sammy, and KO. It's just magic.
Yeah.
You get
Big E
those
back
6 guys
again.
out there. Yeah, Big E's back.
Again.
Big E's back. Back again.
Again.
Big E's back. Tell a friend. Big E's back. Busy back. Big E's back.
I like that Xavier called him Sam Zayn.
Yeah, Sam Zayn the whole time.
Sam Zayn.
So good. Yeah, that actually threw my girlfriend for a loop. She goes, "Did you just say Sam Zayn?" I'm like, yeah. She's talking about Sammy? Yeah. They're all so good. I mean, all of them. Ziggler did get a little overacty again, but he seems to have reined it in a little bit. After that, we got a Bailey interview, which I liked. Talking shit about Alexa's Twitter. And after that, we got Aleister Black yelling at an open door to pick a fight with him. I will say the best part of that promo...
Is that a call out of Bill Goldberg?
Yeah, Goldberg fought a door.
And lost?
Better watch out, Aleister Black. You might lose to a door.
Yep.
I will say again, with Aleister Black, I understand that we as fans of NXT understand that Aleister Black is a force to be reckoned with. But I will say that the Aleister Black of the main roster is who? You are unestablished. You were one half of an overwhelmingly losing tag team that broke up immediately after WrestleMania with no explanation. Who are you to demand a match with you? You should be out there proving yourself to the roster, and you're acting like you're on top of the whole thing. I will say this. Also, if you're in the show, if you're part of wrestling and your goal isn't to become a champion, I don't understand entirely your gimmick. So don't care about any of the titles. All you want is for a random person to pick a fight with you. Why are you in a wrestling organization and not drinking at a bar? You get in random fights every night at the bar. Wrestling organizations have matches. What do they call them when you put together a match? They used to call it stuff. Sanctioned matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just don't understand where he's coming from. Is he a fucking bar fighter who happens to be lost in the wrestling world? Why anyone has to prove themselves by beating Aleister Black, who is a nobody on this current roster? You are no one. Prove you are someone before you demand people come looking for you. I do think that Kevlar had it best when he said that the best outcome we can really hope for is that R-Truth stumbles into the same closet as him and loses the 24 title to Aleister Black. I don't see how you do anything else with him that matters.
Well, I know they're pre-tape vignettes, but he's acting them well. I mean, we don't hear anything about someone upset. We don't hear any rumblings. We just hear him doing it. I'm cool.
Oh yeah, and he's doing the best he can, but from a writing perspective, and he's nailing the lines. It's not that he's not doing that. It's from the writing of the overall character. I don't understand how that character can have that attitude here. Now, let's see. The pig was Husky Harry. Yeah, or Husky Harris, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why he was eating the chocolate. The witch was Sister Abigail. That was so. Bray Wyatt's character, to sum up for people who haven't been watching as long, his whole gimmick with the Wyatt family was that Sister Abigail was kind of like the leading evil force behind him, and that's why his finishing maneuver was called the Sister Abigail's Kiss. Or was it just called the Sister Abigail? And then he would kiss him on the head and then slam him, and that was the whole deal. Is that the evil entity that drives Bray Wyatt is his sister, his deceased sister Abigail.
Now, Kith.
Let's see. Oh, Stackhouse thinks that Aleister Black's got to be low-key hurt or something. Can't think of any other reason why they would have him just doing promos instead of wrestling. Yeah. Maybe they just really don't know what to do with him and don't want to ruin him yet. So I can understand if they're protecting him as well. You know what I mean? Like, if we just throw you out there, dude, we got shit for you. But I'll tell you what, how about we build with you for a couple of months until we find the right spot to stick you in? I will say an Aleister Black Bray Wyatt thing for SummerSlam could be pretty fucking cool build. But Bray Wyatt's got to go over, man. He's the fucking...
They both need wins.
They both need the win so bad.
So I would like Alistair Mojo. The Mojo needs...
Yeah, but Mojo needs the win.
Mojo needs attention.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's why he's crazy. It's not like a bad thing. It's just he's crazy. Cause...
Shadow thinks we're getting Wyatt next week. I suspected the week after because I think it's going to be right after Stomping Ground. I think is when we get an active Wyatt.
No, that'll be the week after that.
I don't know. Days, man.
3 weeks out.
No.
Wait. Right.
It's like Sunday.
Right.
It's like this Sunday.
No, it's next Sunday.
I don't know days, man. Let's see. I'm not afraid anymore. I have Fiend now, and Fiend is ready from his tweeter. I saw that too, and I thought, oh shit, we're going to get something soon. Maybe what we'll see is him live, but not in action.
Yeah.
Like he does the whole Bray Wyatt thing where the lights do their thing and then he's just there and then he just disappears. I could see that, the Fiend coming up behind somebody and scaring the shit out of them. Or him terrorizing an entire episode of Raw where every backstage promo or backstage segment has someone going like, what the fuck? And like it pans over and there he is just down the hallway just... Like that would be cool. But as far as like an actual match, I don't think we're going to get that top for Stomping Ground.
Have Lars fucking destroy Lucha House Party or whatever because it's not going well, and then have him come out and try and recruit Lars and destroy Lars.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was going to beat up Lucha House Party, and I was like, that'd be so good.
Beat him.
Be so good. Yeah, Bray Wyatt going after Brock, I think could come down the line.
The tag team is called Policy.
I think once Brock takes the title from Seth, I'd like to see him lose it to someone like Bray.
Yeah, I like that.
Some sort of like crazy shit. Let's see. So my favorite part of the Aleister Black promo of him yelling at a door was that once it cuts back to the ring, I'm pretty sure, I was going to rewatch it, it looked like Bayley said, I'll fight you. Nice. Like Bayley was all like, let's have a match. And I was all like, sweet. Like that was my favorite bit of it. I just got the news alert that the Blues won.
And we found out first here. Thank you, Stackhouse.
Thanks, Stackhouse.
Breaking news.
For breaking the news before Apple News. Wait, he was yelling at a door. Thought it was a mirror. No, Mojo was yelling at a mirror. Aleister has been yelling at a camera. And then last this weekend, Smackdown. Tuesday's down. Dude, I'm having a stroke.
You want to take over there, Jim? He was yelling at a door yesterday.
Oh, no.
I didn't do better.
Yeah, he started yelling, oh, open the door! Open the door! And he's like, fight me! And it was like, you see the door light opens up. So he yelled at a door frame. I don't know.
Cameraman, just slam it back closed.
He thought it was a mirror at a door. No, it was like door frame. Like he just opened the door. Yeah, I would like to see the door just slowly close again. No one said anything. Let's see, but then we do get Bayley versus Nikki Cross, which I thought was a great match. Nikki looked very strong, did a really good job in there. Good pacing, nice moves, made sense. Alexa tried to get involved and try to be distracting to the ref to get Nikki to have the advantage. And Bayley still got the win doing an elbow off the top. I did like that she did the whole, she's on the rope, she points at Alexa, does the elbow, and stares at Alexa while she's doing the pin, and she's like, "You're fucking next, bitch." Like, that was good stuff. I thought it was a good match, and I thought, as much as I think Nikki needs more wins right now to kind of push how crazy she is, I could also see them booking her on the undercard here, and then having her snap at something, like maybe Alexa's holding her back, and so now I'm going to beat the shit out of Alexa and get over the Alexa hurdle. So I could see something like that happening.
On Raw, so that we actually see some other women fighting on Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow King brings up the point of, is it a coincidence that Aleister Black is yelling at a door and Bray Wyatt's constantly saying, "Just let me in"? Again, I don't know. I feel like we could be leading to an Aleister Black Bray Wyatt feud for SummerSlam. But again, I think they both need wins so bad right now. They're both coming on real strong. So who do you have them go up against that could take that loss and be fine? Maybe Aleister Black could take a loss from The Fiend and still be a bad motherfucker. Maybe. But without The Fiend being totally established yet, how much does it mean to beat The Fiend or even get close to beating The Fiend? Yeah. The Fiend needs to come out and just fucking wreck motherfuckers.
Well, and Bray Wyatt beating someone who's unestablished to the main audience, what is the... Okay, that's cool. That's... You won.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be more impactful if it was like a win with some element of like wow to it? Whether it be like Braun Strowman, Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
Fuck Randy Orton, someone.
Someone big, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, he's thinking instead of a feud, actually a faction. Raleigh, Black, and Bray. Bray should go after Shane to get him off TV. Don't think we need more Shane. But I will say this, as far as faction goes, I was thinking what would be a cool Bray faction would be like Mojo and Nikki Cross. I could see Aleister Black being involved in that. But I think that the idea of having like a funhouse scenario of here's one side of my personality that's super friendly, and here's a real evil side that gets shit done. I think Nikki Cross kind of has been towing that line. I think she might be looking for a friend. I think Mojo, trying to find his next big thing, could be looking for a Fiend. You know, like, I feel like they could be looped into that. And I think Aleister Black's just looking for a fight. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I see him in that as a faction thing, but I do think that there's a lot that could build a faction around the Bray Wyatt character and funhouse aspect of it.
I do agree with getting Shane off TV.
Yeah, Shane just needs to be off TV, and I don't know if putting him in a feud does that.
Putting him in a helicopter might.
Yeah, that's true. It worked for Charlotte Flair. Then we get R-Truth in a box.
Yeah, who's going to Los Angeles.
How does the dick in a box song go?
It's my dick in a box.
Yeah, do it with R-Truth too.
It's my truth in a box. My truth in a box. Yeah. My truth in a box.
You know, my truth in a box. Yeah, that's good. The red words on Bray's abandoned hope sign say ethereal.
That's my grandmother's name.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I just saw her the other day. Let's see, they're telling me that the box is being shipped to LA. Carmella can't find R-Truth, and he's going to be shipped to LA. So I think it'd be cool if they show him being unboxed next week.
I like that Jinder grabs the ref. We're going to Los Angeles, and I want WWE short videos of them driving to LA, like as a road trip. Like I want them to stop at a quick trip or something. It's like, come on, I need you. Like pounding on the door to the men's.
Oh, they could do that show. They do ride along.
Yeah.
If you put one out real quick, that was actually like Drake Maverick on a ride along trying to get to R-Truth. That'd be cute.
Yeah, no, I'd be down with that.
Let's see. After that, we got the Firefly Funhouse again, which we've been talking about nonstop because it's pretty fucking cool.
Yep.
Then we get Apollo Crews doing an interview with Zelina, which seemed a little weird and out of place, but okay.
And then Chad Gable.
And then Chad Gable sitting there drawing Apollo, it looked like, or writing notes or something, and he looked awful. His new look with the short hair is terrible, but I thought he also looked terrible with long hair. So I don't know what he's supposed to look like.
Bad. I also loved he had a name tag, which I honestly thought the reason they had a name tag that said Gable's, I didn't know who the fuck it was. Who's that?
Hi, my name is Gable.
My name Gable. Me wrestle.
Let's see. Oh, and then Gable made his premiere on 205 Live last night afterwards. Apparently had an incredible match.
He's 205?
I don't remember who he was against. We could look that up, though. Who did Chad Gable fight last night on 205 Live? Look it up, guys. Let's see. I want the 24/7 champ to be in a non-title match and get pinned by someone coming from the back in the middle of the match.
That'd be really funny. Like in the middle of it, like somebody pull the guy he's
So he
against.
loses the championship in the match and then has to continue the rest of the match where he gets back to the championship.
Just, motherfucker.
Yeah, that'd be good. Fuck! You know?
Like somebody goes for the cover and they rip have him be like against Drew Galloway in some reason, or Drew McIntyre in some way, and then so like rips Drew off. Like, no, mine, after the Claymore kick and pins him, and then
yeah, and then the first ref is all like, it's not over, and then he's like, fuck, and now he's got to keep fighting whoever he's fighting. That could be really good. Let's see. I think Gable could also be great. Stackhouse, I think he is great. I think the work he was doing with Bobby Roode was crazy, like phenomenal and unexpected. He's definitely underutilized as far as that talent goes, because even if you were to use him as a sort of enhancement talent, he's not even being utilized that way. Like, he's a great worker. He could probably really make other people look great, and he's not being used in any of those ways. Let's see. He wants to see
a Wee Ryer.
Oh, he wants to see the WWE writers take the title. You know what I want to see? I want to see a legend. I want to see an NWO gimmick with the 247 title. I want to see Nash, Hall, and Sean Waltman in the backstage, and I want to see Sean super kick someone or do some sort of crazy move to the 24/7 title winner, win it, and be like, guys, I got the thing, right? And then Scott Hall to pick on Sean and win it from him as a thing. Kevin Nash to tell Scott Hall to knock that shit off and take the title from him. And then I want it to pan over to Eric Bischoff standing on the side and going, who booked this shit? And walking off.
Yeah, I want that. That's the best.
I think that'd be so good. And
or
then
bring in Hogan.
Even see Nash relinquish the title after that. They just leave it, and then someone picks it up and just runs off with it. Now they're the new champion.
Or have Hogan run up to Bischoff as he walks and goes, wait, you didn't book me going over? No? Fine.
Wait, what?
Have Hogan run up to Bischoff as he walks away and say, you didn't book me going over?
Oh, yeah. This doesn't work for me, brother. Gable defeated Jack Gallagher. That's right, Jack Gallagher. He goes, supposedly an incredible match. I can see why. I mean, those two dudes are great. Let's see. Can't take credit for this, but John Cena could get the title. And on the set of Furious Fast 9, in the middle of shooting, gets pinned. Yeah, I could see that doing a back like a Instagram gimmick with it, where he's got it and you see him lose it on set, and then it cuts away, and he's like, God, and they're like, come on, John, we got to get back to filming.
Or lose it to cast members. Like, lose it to The Rock, lose it to Vin Diesel.
That'd be cool to see him lose it to Rock on Fast and Furious thing, and then have someone take it from The Rock in some weird, stupid way.
Have Rock have it, go shoot Ballers, and lose it to the co-host on Ballers, Rob Corddry.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be like fucking so good.
Do the whole sleeping gimmick thing again.
Yeah.
Or where he like eats too much. Or with that guy, the little bald dude you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what
With
Rob
him,
Corddry.
he could drug him. You know what I mean? He can put a little thing in there and drink up, and he's like, you know what I mean, like.
And then have it keep going through various properties, like have Corddry lose it on the set of Children's Hospital. Or
What?
He does a comedy show called Children's Hospital.
Sounds hysterical.
It's really good. It's on Adult Swim.
It's about children in the hospital.
Not really.
A riot. That's a laugh riot if I've ever heard one.
I mean, I always giggle whenever the WWE does a Make-A-Wish thing, but that's just me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like the little dudes. Let's see. We do go to the final match of the week. We get KO versus... Nope. We get KO, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler versus The New Day. I have no notes on this one, but I do remember the match being absolutely incredible. It's just 6 amazing top guys. Like, here's 6 dudes who could be a believable champion, who could be a believable top draw. Like, there's no question that any one of these 6 shouldn't be in the main event.
Yeah. I thought Big E and Xavier looked great. Xavier's been looking really good lately.
Oh, yeah. He's so good, man. And he's fucking built.
Yeah. Todd Phillips, in the beginning of it, said we violated the wild card rule, which really annoyed the shit out of me.
What?
Yeah, he says, we violated the wild card rule, and then I just like stopped listening because I was like, so Either make this like making fun of the wild card rule a thing where you make it silly and it doesn't matter, or take it seriously because it's getting annoying. Like when even it doesn't come off like scripted, it comes off like, oh, okay, they violated that.
I think if they just stopped talking about the wild card rule and just had people on both shows, people would stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
100%. If just Sami Zayn and KO were on every night of the week, I would no longer stop and think, what show are they on?
Yeah.
They're just on TV all the time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I think that they could also make it go away by just not talking about it. And I think that they also wouldn't have to change their booking for people to accept it.
Yeah.
Just do the thing you're doing now.
Also, Big E and Ziggler, perfect pairing because Big E's doing those belly-to-belly suplexes, but Ziggler's jumping into it, so it's a full flip, which looks so good.
Dude, I was looking at, I'll send you the video. There was, actually, if you guys ever check out WrestleBotch on Instagram, at WrestleBotch, I'm a fan of the little snippets there. There's one that he'd put up of a bunch of his favorite sells, and one of them was just a slingshot that Kofi did to Dolph, where he did a full rotation. I was like, oh my God. Where usually people just kind of come up and go down. He came up, did a full flip, and then down.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. But it was great. Yeah, I think the match itself was no complaints. I will say the show itself, after Miz was off of it, everything else got much better. And it got really good and entertaining.
It's better than last week where there was 20 minutes of wrestling on Raw and 10 minutes on SmackDown.
Yeah, no, we had some good matches up. We had Sonya and Carmella, Bayley and Nikki. We had New Day, KO, Sammy, Dolph. Heavy Machinery were in a match. Daniel Bryan and Rowan cut their cool little promo. So, yeah, not a ton of wrestling matches outside of the Gauntlet match, but quality people who we want to see perform together more and people who can bring out the best in each other. So I think they definitely did a great job of that. And I think it was a really entertaining show after Miz got off of it. Raw, I think, went back to fundamentals of how do you make a wrestling show. And it felt really basic, outlined.
Yeah.
Super, this is how you get a boo, this is how you get a cheer. It felt really basic at its core, but you have some of the most talented people in the world doing it. And it's harder to tell that they've outlined it with such just a stale framing, and it actually comes out great.
Well, maybe what you could do is by having it be such a basic show, you can actually narrow it down and nail down like, okay, so this is not working, this is working, we need to get rid of this, do more of this, because we're not focusing on so many weird, zany, dumb things that aren't working. Just, okay, it might not be it may not be these things, but who's involved?
Yeah, 100%. And I will say this is the hero's journey, as written about by Joseph Campbell, is the core of every action film you've ever seen, every sci-fi movie you've ever watched. Every hero you've ever cheered for has gone through the hero's journey, and so much so that it's still something that people read about and write papers about. And in school, it's always pick your favorite movie and then see how it follows this guideline. Sometimes there's a lot to be said about a solid foundation of a guideline, and everything else around it is the originality and the art of it. But this is the core you have to follow, and I felt like Raw was a good showing of that. This is how you make a wrestling show, and here's some of the best guys doing it. So people are going home happy.
Yeah.
I felt like Raw sent me home happy. I feel like SmackDown sent me home happy. Although I agree with Renji, there's a lot of aspects where from time to time it's like, why do I watch this shit? I do feel like at the end of the day, I love wrestling. I just love it, so I'm good with it. As long as it can make me happy twice a month, I'll probably keep watching.
Yeah.
But I will say, every now and again, there's a week where it's all like, can they pull this out next week? Because I'm pretty fucking over it. And I feel like this is one of the weeks they did good. And I would like to shine a little spotlight on that.
I cussed less in my notes this week than last week, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Let's see, outside of that, we do have on the 29th AEW Fighter Fest. Do you have the 29th off?
No.
You don't know yet? Or you just know you don't?
I've requested it. I'm getting...
a lot of rejects back. So
I talked to
figure it out.
I talked to big guy, see what can happen. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get that one for you. My hope is it's close to my birthday, but also I have 2 dates in July I need off to give someone a ride to an airport in Phoenix and then pick their ass up from an airport in Phoenix.
Are they cool? Like, did you need me to pick them up?
Do you want to pick up my...
Your mom?
No?
Oh. Maybe not then. If it was your mom, totally. Saw, dude. Saw Clump, Mom. Mama Clump.
She watches this.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh, that's not good. That's bad.
It's a bad idea.
Let's see. But so if you don't have that off, hopefully you can at least get the 30th off. We do want to watch Fyter Fest. We have created a show account to try and watch that. So hopefully we can watch that, get everyone our feels of it. And what's going to be cool about that one is we're hoping to do it on the 30th. We're also hoping
We're also hoping.
We're also hoping to have it happening. As you can see up here, our actual not sponsor, American Rebel Cigars. They do not sponsor us, but they're my sponsor. But they don't sponsor us or support us in any way, but they're there sponsoring us.
They're
right
totally
here.
my
They got no
girlfriend, but they're
say
not
in
my
it.
girlfriend.
They retweeted me once, so that means they sponsor me and believe in everything I say, but they don't have anything to do with me, or nor do they give me anything or money. But that's them. And I do have 4 cigars from StarCast of their brand. I had one at the meet and greet there with Cody and Kaz, and actually Sean Spears. That scumbag was there too, that piece of shit. But it was a really nice cigar I had with a friend and some cool wrestlers. And we're going to all have some of them together and review them. 4 different types, so I got four of them.
And Eric's never had a cigar, so I'm going to try my first cigar.
Clump here has never had a cigar, so he's going to try one. We'll probably give him a short one so he doesn't die. Stackhouse is going to be in Vegas. This one's not going to be in Vegas. You were there for the wrong one, man.
God damn it, Stackhouse.
Stackhouse, you're for the wrong one.
Their scheduling's terrible.
Yeah, and then after this one, he's going to be there when the next one is. Where's this one going to be at? Florida?
This is going to be in Daytona Beach.
Daytona Beach. So then when the July one happens in Florida, he's going to be in Daytona Beach.
Oh.
And then when the one happens in Chicago, he's going to be in Florida. Stackhouse is always one step behind. He's like, I'll get the tickets cheaper this way.
Do we have shirts coming, Stackhouse?
Stackhouse. So we're going to review the show of AEW, sans Jericho. I will say this. Do you have AEW notes about stuff? Because I believe Jericho had a match.
Jericho had a match against Okada.
Yeah. So right before we get into that, because we're done with the WWE stuff, let's talk a little AEW, a little indie, if you will. So a couple of things. I understand Jericho is trying to be a classic heel and get real boos and visceral responses. I will say his method of doing that, as traditional as it may be, feels shitty. Maybe it's supposed to. I don't know. Maybe I'm just part of the whole thing, but I will say that him pulling out of Fyter Fest, him pulling out of StarCast, him canceling a Fozzy show that was booked around Fyter Fest, because of this gimmick, they don't give me gratitude or say thank you bullshit, feels like you're shitting on your actual fans who support you. And once you started bringing Fozzy into it, it felt a lot like that's not to do with wrestling.
Yeah. No.
Fozzy's your other thing. Matter of fact, when I went to a Fozzy show, I loved how many wrestling shirts were in the crowd and how no one chanted Y2J. Everyone was chanting Fozzy, everyone was cheering for him, everyone was screaming, singing along. People respected the difference between Chris Jericho, the wrestler, and Fozzy, the band. And seeing that happen in an audience that was so clearly dedicated to wrestling, for them to respect the music that much to create that separation, for you as an artist to not create that separation, feels so disrespectful that they're coming to town here in September, and I know I am definitely not buying a ticket because I don't know if he's going to pull some stupid AEW shit to prove a point, and I already had myself lose out on StarCast. You already told me you'd be somewhere where you weren't, and as a fan, that's super disappointing, and now I'm watching you do it to other fans, and now I don't trust you as a performer. So now, whether or not you're ever on a wrestling card has no impact on if I will or will not buy it. I'll tell you that right now. If he's on a main event, I'm looking at the rest of the card.
It's a weak, dumb move. I also think it doesn't make sense to me because we had what happened with Pac recently. which is still like, why would you do that with this promotion if it's a work? If it's a work, it's a stupid ass idea. And if it's not, what's happening? And this sucks. And honestly, this version of Jericho, this version of him as a heel, is like the worst iteration of Jericho. And I love Jericho. It's upsetting because he doesn't perform good. He doesn't look good in the ring. He doesn't look good on promos. I cringe when he's talking.
His
I
last
hate
promo he did after the Okada one I saw, and I thought it was bad.
I hated the video package he did where he's like, said Okada come out and play. It's like, that's so overplayed and stupid.
Yeah.
And that weird shrill voice. And it's like, this is so who I liked because they were inventive and creative, and they weren't the biggest guy or the most, the person with the best physique, but they always put the best creativity, were the best worker, in my view. And this sucks.
I feel like, in a sense, he's gotten lazy. I will say real quick to Shadow King, I do agree that when I was saying that we're going to talk about AEW and indie wrestling, I meant that as a separation and not as AEW being in indie wrestling, because I agree with you. AEW is owned by a billionaire. They are immediately starting on top, which is different than an indie promotion.
It's unique, yes.
But this is the clump portion of the show as our AEW and indie wrestler correspondent. I know we're going to be talking about New Japan, not that that's indie, but anything else that happened on the less mainstream shows to include AEW. Let's see, the AEW champ had a Crackle Barrel. I swear to God, dude, that pissed me off. I was sitting there trying to point out to people, and they're like, no, that was because Kenny Omega does the Street Fighter gimmick, and he, in Street Fighter, what was it, the bonus level is you kick barrels. All right, but they don't kick Crackle Barrels, right? And that was a fucking advertisement. And the show was promoted by Crackle Barrel.
That's why. That's...
Yeah.
People, I mean...
Yeah. They tried to make an excuse to make it excusable, because as soon as you see the first ever, we're AEW and we do things so fucking different, we're not WCW, and then you see a corny ass fucking advertisement literally sitting in the middle of the ring, getting in the way of an entrance, getting in the way of starting a match, and you have to explain that away. Why was there a Crackle Barrel advertisement in the way? They had to come up with, because of the Street Fighter. No. It wasn't a Street Fighter thing. It was strictly they paid enough money to have a fucking barrel put in the ring.
Which I don't knock that. If you said, yeah, that's our sponsor, like just say, we're sponsored by Cracker Barrel like 2 times. I'm cool with it. Because everyone does it. Like, this is brought to you by the stupid ass Stomping Ground pay-per-views brought to you by Gold Bond Foot things.
And if it wasn't for the ref not figuring out how to get it out of the ring, it would have just been removed from the ring. But because the ref was having a hard time, Jericho gets involved. And I will say this. I think it would have been better if Jericho broke the barrel on purpose before. I think if they were going to remove it and he goes, no, give me it, and fucking smashes it, we're not that company, that'd be one thing. That's not what happened here. Here was an advertisement in the middle of the fucking ring. That was bullshit, man.
Did you see, so this week John Moxley...
The KFC Colonel Rumble every year? Fuck yeah, it was.
I'm down for this.
Yeah. Although Shawn Michaels makes a really good Colonel.
Yeah. They all did. I mean, the WWE Colonels were fantastic. John Moxley did a promo where on...
God damn it.
You good there, buddy?
No! God.
We are experiencing technological differences.
Who did this shit? It's alright, I got it. I'm back. I need a drink.
You got some left. Cool. Okay.
We're looking for a Johnny Walker sponsorship or a Crown Royal sponsorship. I'm out. That's all. That's the only reason why.
We're looking for liquor for March. We're looking for an enabler.
Or assist and deceased. I'll sober up if enough liquor companies tell me they won't give me free liquor.
I need to start bringing something I want to sponsor the show.
No. That would be cheap. Anyways.
I want watches.
What were you saying about John Moxley's
he did a promo in Japan.
This is his second match as Moxley, yeah?
He said he's from Cincinnati, Ohio. And in Japanese, Ohio is basically how you say hello or good morning. So the crowd starts chanting Ohio back, and it's really sweet.
That's funny.
And it's now the #1 rated New Japan clip on YouTube. But that was cool. Didn't see too much in Dominion. I didn't see too much this week. I saw Being the Elite, which was good, funny. I like that they're bringing...
Did you see the Moxley match before we moved past it? Against the little kid, the young lion?
Yeah.
Did you see his promo afterwards?
No.
he cut a promo afterwards where he goes to the back where they have the people all pressed out and stuff, and he's carrying the wrestler with him.
That's awesome.
He's holding him up, and the guy's like, "Ugh," and he's like, "This is my guy right here. This is my young lion. He's a good dude. He's a good kid." He goes, "I'm going to need someone to help me out, someone to ride with." And he goes, "This is going to be my new partner right here." And he's like chopping up this dude. And then like, he's like, "Here, hold my belt." And the kid like grabs the belt and collapses and goes, "He's fine. He's fine." He goes, "I'm going to need someone to like drive me around." He goes, "You know how to drive?" "I'm sure he knows how to drive." Like, it's a really
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah. And then at the end, like, he starts to walk away, and then like he puts him down again and comes back, and he's like, "Are you still on the ground, man? Come on!" And like he's like, it's funny because he's really like pumping up the kid as like his new best friend, and he's like sitting there like he just got the shit kicked out of him.
It's I mean, it's kind of similar. It's similar, but in the positive way to like Minoru Suzuki when he gets pissed off, he's walking through, and all the young lions are trying to stop what's happening, and he's just beating the shit out of them like one after the other. It's like, what the fuck? 50-year-old guy just laying out everyone.
That's awesome.
I love Minoru Suzuki's the best. So is Jon Moxley right now, but
Moxley's fun.
yeah, being the elite brought in more AEW talent, which is cool. They had a fun segment opening up with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. I like silly, dumb things.
Yeah, they had the whole, like, wasn't it Joey Janela trying to get a match with MJF? Or no, it was Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Trying to get a match with Joey Janela, and somehow they said Jungle Boy?
No, MJF. And then they booked it with initially Jungle Boy, then Jimmy Havoc, then MJF.
So it has them booked for MJF now?
It's now all four.
Oh.
It's a fatal four-way.
Well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I also thought it was kind of dumb when I saw the poster at first. It was like, Adam Page and Jungle Boy? I was like, fucking why? I don't know. I also think that, these kids are so small and young. I just think someone's going to get hurt or something, or they're just not ready. Like, I'm concerned.
You sound like a pedophile or a veteran.
Yeah, he's a tiny little dude, that Jungle Boy. And I'm like, why is Adam Page beating up Jungle Boy, a legit child, supposed to make me buy into him as a potential champion? And that's really what these two next favorites are supposed to be. Who are you going to buy into as your favorites, as your future champion? Who are you going to cheer for? And of course, you're going to boo for Jericho because he doesn't even show up. You're going to cheer for Adam Page because he beats up Jungle Boy. But it's like, what does beating up a kid make you a champion for? So the fact they added two other people in there, cool. Maybe they'll do something good with it. But also, you said Jay Lethal, right?
Jimmy Havoc. Yes. So
I don't buy into Jimmy Havoc either.
Oh well, I think it's gonna build up. Jimmy Havoc's he's the deathmatch guy.
Yeah, I know who he is. I don't buy into him. He just doesn't come off believable to me. Maybe he will in this match. Maybe he will. I think the little things I've seen of him, I haven't been buying in.
I think it's 4 clashing styles. I know I'm tapping something. Okay. It's you.
Oh, yeah.
I got it. I got a producer. Sorry.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
So it's 4 completely distinct styles.
Yeah.
So it could be cool. It could be neat to see how it all plays out.
It gets
how
attention
it
to
the other guys.
Yeah.
It's true. But do we need our potential heavyweight champion and headline of the next major pay-per-view? Do we need him to help build the mid-card? Maybe. Maybe the answer is maybe. Maybe it's yes.
It's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I think one thing that when we talked about Double or Nothing, there's so many goddamn people like in the battle where it's like I don't know any of these people. I don't.
Does it also establish? I almost wonder, in a weird sense, does it lift up your mid card or establish that it's your mid card? Right? I'm your champion. That's why I can run roughshod over all of these guys because these guys are our undercard. And maybe that's part of the deal. Maybe you need to do that as a new company. Maybe you need to you have to put in your top guy to crush these guys so people know where the ranking is. Maybe.
I mean, I haven't seen too much of. I didn't watch TNA when it started out.
Exactly. I don't watch a ton of those. So yeah. I don't know.
We don't really know how you're gonna do it because every other promotion that's been successful for long that we really watched, we didn't see the beginning of it.
Exactly. So maybe that's a good way to do it. Maybe it's also the first way that's ever been done. Maybe they think it's better to do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I'm not saying that it sounds like a shitty match. I just think it sounds a little hodgepodge, and I'm curious to see how that plays out. And to me, that's enough to say I don't know what that match is going to look like, but I want to see how it does.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Jericho lost to Okada, correct?
Yep.
In an IGPW match.
Yep.
Title
NJPW.
match.
And then after
No,
the match,
it's NJPW, but it was IGWP, IWGP,
IWGP, yeah.
IWGP title in NJPW.
International Wrestling Grand Prix.
Yeah, sure. And then Jericho loses it, and he's your number one contender for the first ever heavyweight champion. Again, I think it's a loss he could have suffered, but for the title, I feel, and I might be totally wrong, I feel it diminishes the strength of his character as being your first champion or a contender too.
Yeah. Also, after it, I think I don't think it's going to be ended because after the match, he then beat up Okada.
No, he beat up the other guy.
Jericho?
No, Jericho was in a match with. I thought he was in a match with Okada.
Mm-hmm.
He beats up him, but then someone else comes in. Was it Naito? No, it wasn't Naito. Someone else comes in. He's setting up a match for that other guy. Which I guess he might get a win over, and now he looks strong again, but he will still always look weaker than the IWGP champion. And if you want to establish your new brand, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, of the most elite wrestlers, as the number one brand and the place to be, are you already diminishing your title by saying your number one contender cannot defeat a lesser promotion of NJPW? Or are you trying to say NJPW is equal to AEW? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have those answers. I do feel that it makes the AEW championship weaker, because then what? So Jericho loses to Adam Page, and Adam Page wins the title. Does that make Adam Page look stronger because he beat a guy who also lost to the IWGP champion? Or he just beat another dude on a losing streak? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out who he was in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. You're saying there's comments? Shadow saying he could send me some Canadian whiskey. 1792. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I do like Canadian whiskey. Do you live in Canada, Shadow King? 1792 bourbon, huh? Oh shit, that looks nice. It's a good looking label. Nice bottle, nice top there. Look at them barrels. Those didn't even say Crackle Barrel on them. Formerly known as Ridgewood Reserve, 1792. Looking for a sponsorship, 1792, if you're listening. Sazerac. Wow. 1792, just in Kentucky. That's not Canadian.
It isn't?
No. Comes out of Kentucky and New York, looks like. Looks really good. Is that what you drink? Are you drinking right now with us? Are you having a drink on the rocks with us? Where are we at? You live in Canada. Bret Hart doesn't have a beer. Stone Cold has a beer. Does Bret Hart have a beer? I've always wanted a Hitman hockey jersey, but I believe that's a Pee-wee team, so I don't think they'll have my size. I am fat. Fatter than most children.
I am fatter than you.
Shadow's having a drink with us. He's having gin. While you're still looking up that one fucking thing. Dude, I found a whole thing about 1792. What kind of gin, if you don't mind? You can say well if it's not one you're proud of. Let's see. Jericho. Okada. I'm going to click the first link. Oh, Osprey won that thing. Did you want to talk about that too?
Yeah, the NJPW Cup.
Yeah, which was really cool. Tanahashi jumped from the commentary table to make the save for Okada. Tanahashi came in and beat up Jericho.
Nice.
So they're setting up for a Jericho Tanahashi match.
Cool. So Jericho's going to lose to their John Cena. Great. Okay.
Tanahashi's the Cena over there?
Tanahashi's been their ace for the past 20 years.
So, well,
10 years.
Jericho did say he wanted to have a match against Tanahashi just from a dream match perspective. Now, let's say, so if he loses, then he's an old man on a losing streak.
He's lost to every one of the top guys.
And he loses to all of IWGP
And JPW.
and JPW champions and top stars.
Yep.
And then if I'm just like trying to play it out. So if he loses to both of them and then he goes up against Adam Page and wins, now you have a champion who's on a losing streak to other promotions. Does that look good? If he wins against Tanahashi, does it mean anything to me to beat up a part-time Tanahashi? Is he part-time?
Nope.
He's full-time Cena?
Yep.
He's like Cena Prime?
Yep.
That'd be a good win.
The only
But
time he's
you're
been
also
out,
on champ.
the last time he was out for an extended period of time, he's had some injuries, but like he's pretty consistent. He's been there forever. He's a good dude. Good hand.
Barrel-aged gin. That sounds good. Well, I'm glad you're having a drink. Cheers to Shadow for having a drink with us. You have to cheers me, dude. It's to the guys. Stackhouse does not want to see that match. Tanahashi and Jericho, you do not want to see?
At this point, we've set up the precedent that Jericho's losing. I don't anticipate them letting him win against Tanahashi.
Really? You think they wouldn't give him that win?
No.
And he dies.
I think at this point we've set the NJPW, and I don't disagree with it. They're protecting their guys.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's why I'm asking is because I'm not seeing it as much. Obviously, I'm not as tuned in. Jericho isn't look good in the ring anymore, and Tanahashi looked rough as hell in his match. Who did Tanahashi go with on the last one?
Last one,
Was it the same show?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think it was. So it's going to be basically Cena on the way out against Jericho on the way down. So it's like Tanahashi ending the prime. Do you think is he on the end of it, or is he looking rough because of one match, or has he been looking rough?
He's looking older. He's not looking as good as he used to look, but he's been doing this for a long time. He's not like Undertaker Goldberg bad.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna handle things.
Shadow King says let's see. Shadow King says that AEW will give Jericho the win because he's a creative team. Tanahashi just came back from a surgery. And he was in the 6-man tag, arm surgery. I think that here's the deal. AEW has to establish their championship now, right? It has to mean something now. You've already had a pay-per-view where we see your championship. It doesn't move around, but we see 6 other titles that do not belong to you. Now we've seen your number one contender lose a championship match at another promotion. I think if you're AEW, Jericho has to lose the championship match. It has to go to Adam Page because you have to establish yourself as the company that is not here to put over old WWE stars. You're here to get new stars and make them, right? So I feel that AEW has to give that title to Page. Jericho supposedly is not part of creative, but apparently has a lot of creative control and general of his own character.
Well, I feel like it's
Keith Catcher thinks they're going to give the first title reign to Jericho. I think they can't.
I think it needs to go to Page, period.
I think it has to be Page.
And Page would be better. Page is young. Page is good. And he looks strong.
I think it'll tarnish the title if it goes on Jericho. You just lost to IWGP champ. If you lose to Tanahashi, then you are just a loser in AEW who's your champion. That would mean the worst NJPW wrestler is the best AEW wrestler. Mm-hmm. That's not what you want.
No, and it's funny in the difference in booking. Like, Jon Moxley being booked in NJPW has been great, and I like that. I like that arrangement where it's, I'm the U.S. champ, I'm here, and he's going to drop the title to someone eventually.
He's got to, yeah.
But
I think it's cool he's got it for right now.
And he looks strong. It makes the promotion look good. But Jericho's on this world tour of losing.
Yeah.
And
I will say this about Juice. The match was pretty good, and then Juice Robinson went in the back and cut that long promo. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was weird bad. He was like, he got stumbled over his own words. He was like, I just feel like I don't even have the words. And you're like, because you forgot what you were saying. Like, it was weird bad, and I felt like, that's why this guy didn't last. That's why this guy's still developmental style. He'll get there.
Well, it wasn't scripted.
Yeah, definitely wasn't scripted because the guy had no words. Jericho has to win the first because of the TV. People flipping through the channels are going to recognize Jericho, not Page. I also think there is more money in somebody chasing Jericho. I think...
Yeah, if he hadn't already lost to all these people, and the thing is,
Yeah, but he's saying he's more of a household name to the average viewer who won't watch NJPW. NJPW means nothing to the non-AEW fan, but could mean everything to the potential new viewer, the casual viewer. And I will say that was my biggest complaint about AEW's first performance, is they were not targeting the casual viewer. And what I think is probably a big issue with the WWE now is they're not trying to figure out how to capture the casual viewer. I do think that, let's see, if they didn't want the old WWE star stench, why have Brett debut it? I will say it was supposed to be Ric Flair debuting it, which only slightly changes your argument, but keeps it pretty much the same. And I think the reason they would have a Ric Flair and a Brett do that is to establish a legacied champion and someone who's been known as the best to endorse a new championship as a new legacy. I think that's why you would do that. I think they want Jericho to run it with the first legitimize it to become his list of accomplishments. Paige chasing Jericho, winning it first. Yeah, they all think that Jericho has to win it so Paige can chase Jericho. I think as a new company, this is your match to establish who you're going to be. And it might not be the easiest booking. It might not be the best for the casual fan. But if you see Jericho with or without a title and you're a casual fan, you're probably going to stay tuned in either way. If you see Jericho out there talking shit to the champion, I'm going to take that from you. You might be a little curious. Where if you see Jericho with a championship, I don't know if that changes your view of tuning in, where as a new company trying to say they're not WWE, trying to say they're not WCW, we're not trying to rebrand old wrestlers, we are trying to establish new talent and get new eyes on the new talent that nobody knows. Paige is how you do that. You turn Paige into the household name by him fending off Jericho constantly. This guy defeated Jericho. Who's he? Who's that guy who just beat Jericho for the championship?
Yeah.
That's how you get that conversation going, in my eyes.
I agree with that.
The problem a lot of wrestling fans are Canadian. Canada is a huge hub of wrestling. NJPW gets zero airtime here. We don't get it here either. We have to watch it on the web, I believe, right?
Yeah. Although, actually, something else kind of cool with NJPW, side note, NJPW is going to release one match every week free.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Mondays.
And they're releasing good matches. They're not releasing like, we're going to put Tyler Breeze and Fandango versus the Authors of Pain. They're releasing good matches.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Authors of... Oh, wait, what?
That isn't a real match. I'm just trying to think of
I was like, Authors of Pain were in Japan?
Some turd match.
Yeah. Let's see. Jericho opening the TV show with the title will be the first image they want to show. They have plenty of time to build Paige. I think they have plenty of time to build everyone right now, but it's your time to establish who are you going to be. And if you put that title on Jericho, I'll tell you, as a wrestling fan, I'm less interested. Because now I've seen Jericho lose to all the people in the other divisions. Here's a guy who was only sort of on top in WWE. You need to establish that Adam Page is better than NJPW, is better than WWE. The AEW title is not only the most prestigious title that's out there, it's the hardest one to get. And a mid to upper card Jericho winning it first off doesn't establish that it's a higher thing than that. I will say that having Adam Page, who's a relative unknown, could establish him as the first ever AEW champion. I don't know if first ever AEW champion helps Jericho's legacy any more than a two-time AEW champion would, right? And I don't think it establishes AEW as a big company being, our first champion was Jericho. It sounds like TNA. Our first champion was Jeff Jarrett.
That hurts.
That's what it sounds like to me.
No one.
Let's see. Stackhouse, who says they're gonna have to use the WWE guys to build a TV show, then use them to get the new guys over. As much as people want AEW to be different than WWE at the end of the day, it's still gonna crucify around like a business. You need to not go the WCW route and make the most known guy Hulk Hogan, first champ or champ. And I agree with both of those in the sense that I think they're going to be utilizing the WWE guys for notoriety. I think they've already done themselves a disservice and gotten themselves enough attention for talking about WWE. I think it's really their time and their chance to now say we're bigger than that. WWE is nothing to us. Getting the new guys over doesn't mean by taking the championship first.
I would say to Bulletproof Bandit, I don't think that Japan necessarily is the issue. I think it's his ring rate. It's more of that. I'm more concerned because I don't see this Jericho as the Jericho he was 5-10 years ago. He's not performing at that level, and it's honestly affecting how I view it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't view him as a believable title holder. I don't view him as a believable top of the card person. I think of him like a Hulk Hogan. I don't want to see Hulk Hogan coming in here and coming into WWE and running roughshod over the upper card of the division, getting every belt and stuff. Just like I don't want to see Jericho doing that.
I'm starting to see Jericho as a Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. Except he's not an EVP, which you'd think.
Right, but here's the deal. It was like the difference between Hogan and Jericho is Hogan was the top of the card in WWE for a long fucking time. And a Hogan appearance meant people in seats. Hogan was so big that he wasn't even in WrestleMania 8 and he won the title.
Jericho means the people who are talking about this podcast are pumped. And that's true. I mean, yeah, this is the people who are watching this and that we're talking to right now. We're not the most casual wrestling fans. We watch this for a long time. We pay attention to this, but we're not going to be the people who they need to look at. The people who they want to look for and get in are the people who are just tuning into it. They don't want to have this be late WCW or TNA where it was everyone who used to work for WWE now comes in and
And I will say this. If we honestly thought they were trying to cater to a casual fan to get viewers, then what the fuck was Double or Nothing?
Mm-hmm.
No build, no explanation. You had a 21-man battle royal, and you didn't explain who anyone was. You had people coming out 5 at a time and just listing the names randomly on commentary as they could figure out who it was. You didn't know who was who. They're not trying to bring in a casual fan. They're trying to grab early on the dedicated fans. If we can get a dedicated fan base now and early to sustain us, we can build casual fans off of that, right? They need people now to be talking about it. And you're not going to get the casual fan now talking about it, but you will get jackasses like this saying, you got to see Orange Cassidy. He's so funny. Then you get the assholes going like, what are you talking about? Is that the new show with Jericho on it? Yeah, maybe they'll watch it now. They need the hardcore fans locked in to build the casual fans, I think.
jackasses like me.
Just fucking testicle-looking.
Hey.
There's massive amount of casual viewers that only watch WrestleMania, and the major plot lines on YouTube. AEW is going to want to target those viewers. I think they will, but I don't think they're going to try and grab them right away. They definitely didn't try to do it with Double or Nothing at all. The TV show is going to have to get the casual fan, or they won't stat.
I think the other thing that TV shows.
I agree.
I think the other thing the TV show is going to have that we're not counting in is the TV show is probably going to come around TNT basketball. TNT plays basketball like a motherfucker. They have a lot of pre-in, and I'm sure that as we get closer or as basketball season heats up, they're going to have that tie-in with AEW, whether it be like they did in, have commercials or on the analysis shows, and then that could lead to coverage on ESPN, which will help.
Yeah.
And it won't be perfect, but it's not going to be perfect. And I know Jericho, might be that person, but honestly, I don't know if it would still. Because my dad, or I think of like the casual fan who's looking across, I don't know if Jericho, like you said, was at that level in WWE.
He was never at that level.
Yeah.
He defeated Rock and Stone Cold in one night, right? That's his fucking thing. He talks about it all the fucking time. That was what, 2001, 2002? Unified the Undisputed titles, but never was part of the unification. Unification happened after him. Did he hold the world title or any of the world titles after that?
Yeah.
Not really. He was a big mid-card type dude. I would say he was big enough like a Piper to where he didn't need to have the championship to be relevant, but he also wasn't the casual fan big. People didn't watch Jericho knowing who he was all the time, right? Like that was a wrestling fan big. He was big to wrestling fans.
Yeah, I agree. He's the ultimate get for us.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying to dismiss anyone here or dismiss fans like me. I agree with that. It's just honestly, I don't think he's the way to go.
I'll tell you this much: if AEW is looking for $18 million, not the $2 million, then they're overshooting WWE. And as a new company, if WWE is your biggest fucking market and they're getting roughly 1.8 to 2.5 million week to week, if their goal is to be hitting closer to that 18 million mark, they're going to probably fold faster than that. They need to be aiming for the 1.
They need to
the
be
1 to 1.5. And then when they go past that, then that's room for celebration and growth. But they can't be targeting the 18 million yet.
As they've said, where they want to be the alternative, not a competitor.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do, and that'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll get the people like us. They'll get some people from TNT watching that. I don't think they need everyone, but they'll get some people, and that's.
I will say I agree with Keith on this as far as like, and I don't mean to argue necessarily. I think I'm just trying to have a discord with you, and I don't mean to upset or think that I'm arguing. I'm not
That's
trying
my
to yell
job
at
to
you.
piss you off.
I'm saying I just don't see from their presentation that that's what they're going for. And I agree with you that I think TNT wants higher numbers, but I also wonder if TNT is realistic, are they actually expecting AEW to start off trying to get the 18 million versus the 2 million? Now, I will say this, in the Attitude Era, there was ratings flying around 9 to 10 million viewers a week on Raw and Nitro. Now, I know there's a lot of double dipping there, people flipping back and forth, but that does mean that right now we're at 1.8 to 2 million. That's a good 6 to 7 honest million viewers missing. People who are willing to watch something they're interested in if it catches their interest. People who grew up liking it. I put all sorts of wrestling shit up on my desk at work. People walk by all the time and pick it up and play with the little toys and stuff. Like, man, I love this guy. Oh, I love this dude. Oh, who's this guy? Tell me about it. Oh, that stuff was so fun. And we talk wrestling for fucking 20 minutes. People who grew up watching it remember how fun it was to watch it and want to do that again. I don't think that Jericho's your catalyst. I don't think AEW is planning on getting them right away. But I think that that's TNT's view, is we want to get back to there. So I agree with that entirely.
I think that's been part of, like we talked about, like with Double or Nothing, how how the cost coming into it. I don't think that was AEW's goal. I think that was Warner's goal, like with like the cost attached. Like, okay, that's.
Shadow King wants to see them scoop up some Canadian talent and thinks they need to get into Canadian TV. Cody Rhodes was saying at StarCast that they have a killer international deal, and as far as international exposure is going to be, it's supposed to be pretty big. It's supposed to be like really cheap and easy for them and pretty lucrative for them. So I don't think that they're going to avoid Canada. I would think they would want it. I would think with the wrestlers out there like the New Hart Dynasty, I think you'd want to tap into that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a home for those guys.
Yeah, and I think they've connected well with Japan. They've connected well with Mexico. Canada would be a good place to look to then beyond Sean Spears and Jericho.
Oh, fuck that guy.
They got Kenny?
Yeah, they got Jericho. They don't need any more Canadians. They got, what was it? It was the Winnipeg Warriors, the Canadian Kenny versus Jericho.
You're not even the best wrestler for Winnipeg, kid.
Yeah. Let's see. In the next year, we're going to start to see how restrictive TV networks have been in the last 10 years, and hopefully with AEW and Fox deal, this will boost ratings around and start to slowly crawl back those missing millions of fans. They got the perfect 10. See, big issues is no TNT in Canada for their TV deal. Is there not like an app for the TNT stuff?
Bleacher Report Live.
There's Bleacher Report Live. Will that do TNT though?
That is owned by Warner Media.
Check that out, Shadow King. I'd like to know, are you able to get Bleacher Report Live in Canada?
Fight. They have to go through Fight.
Fight? Or is Fight going to have their weekly TV show?
I don't know.
Because Fight does have they have the Ring of Honor and MLW on there for free. Let's see. If they get their weekly show on Fight, because I will say this, Fight International is not the same as Fight America. To get Double or Nothing, I could not go through the Fight app I have. I had to go through Bleacher Report.
Same with England.
But Fight is the only place that was available for international countries.
The other thing...
Fight weren't deal with AEW, but Fight already had Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So find out if they're going to do TNT.
It might change, but we'll figure it out. The other thing is, I remember listening to, in some of the Pritchard podcasts, when they would talk about TV deals, Canada being kind of a thing that came up in multiple episodes is difficult to book with because of standards and policy with regard to content, and then just it's much more of a monopoly than...
And it's much more conservative country. Let's see, we'll see more towards
with policy,
All Out. Honestly worried that they've bitten off more than they can chew. They have a lot of hype, and if they don't live up to it right off the bat, they're going to lose people fast. I think that's true too. There's so much hype behind them, but if they don't pick up, they're going to drop a lot of people. And I will say, what did I say to you even 2 weeks ago? We're almost 2 weeks away. We were 12 to 11 days away from the actual launch of Fyter Fest, and we still hadn't heard how we're going to watch it. That's cutting it too close for me as a fan. I didn't know if I was going to be able to watch it, or how I'm supposed to watch it, or what it's going to cost, and you're giving me 2 weeks to sort that out. I almost felt like, why would I even watch it when they tell me?
Yeah.
That's not much. I'm all asking for is, how do I watch your show? And it was becoming a fight. So I agree with you that there's a lot of hype, and there's a lot of fickle fans, man. It's going to be real easy to lose people.
The other thing I was going to say is, like, in terms of like the hype thing, and I agree with Stackhouse's hype is something that can hurt them. But how much of that hype is put not from them, but put on by the
fan base?
Yeah, the people who are really, really into it and excited, and they're putting too much. It's partly the understanding that WWE isn't the worst thing in the world. And part of why there's so much criticism of it is now there's an alternative in thought, but also that it's something we're passionate about. We can't let, if it slips, if we want this to succeed, we want more content. We can't let this slip and fail because we're upset with the first initial offerings.
Yeah, 100%. I remember hearing that, and I'm sure you're more correct than what I remember hearing, but 20% of content aired in Canada has to feature Canadians or be Canadian made. I think with having your top stars be Kenny Omega and Jericho, I think as long as you keep them on there, right? That's
20% of
That's 20%. If you have one match with two guys and you have 5 matches, does that hit your mark?
You have to have, I think it works out that you have to have like staffing of it.
Oh, the staffing too?
It's like your staff, like of personnel, has to have it.
Oh, and they got Sean Spears? How many other Canadians do they have? They got to get Teddy Hart.
Kenny, Chris, fucking Sean Spears.
Jericho versus Omega for the title in Canada.
Oh.
I will say this. What's the one match no one's talking about from Double or Nothing?
Kenny versus Jericho.
No one's talking about it. I'm hearing people
sucked.
talk about the Joshi match. I'm hearing people talk about the Aja Kong experience. I'm hearing people talk about the Battle Royal. Obviously, the Rhodes match. There's no one stopped talking about that. I still think about that every day. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, everyone's talking about. And everyone's talking about Moxley showing up. Suspiciously absent from every fucking report of Double or Nothing is the Kenny versus Jericho match. It did not live up to the hype. No one cared by that point. There was so much other stuff that was better than it. It just fell down the eyes of everybody else.
I think that was a big weakness because like even their match in NJPW is like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And it was like, okay, that was fine. It was not what it like you were.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a classic like Jericho was trying to say. Oh, we had this fucking classic. No one's rewatching that match.
Yeah.
No one. Fuck Teddy Hart, scoop up and dissolve Impact.
Get the Mountie.
Ooh, the Mountie. Yeah. Was it PCU? He's from Canada, isn't he? He was one of the Rougeau brothers.
Oh yeah.
But let's see. I mean, Stackhouse, if you're still listening, sorry for the pause there. Did you check out the Ask Eric Anything 83 Weeks podcast? It was like 2 weeks ago. Someone asked him a question of if you could give advice to AEW, what would you give? And someone else asked about why WWE has to be PG and how it affects them as a publicly traded company or whatnot. And he really went into the woods on it and was really trying to like not talk about it. But then he really started going in. And one of the big deals he was talking about was it's hard to give AEW advice when you don't know their company goals. What is their risk and loss threshold? Like there's a lot of business stuff he was putting out there. And he's like, but if I had to pinpoint things versus like what I thought helped me and what I think is going to be difficult, he talked a lot about sponsorships and TV deals being that they decide your demographic, not you. So Eminem and Gold Bomb tell WWE, this is your demographic now. WWE doesn't say this is the demographic we're offering you. Nestle says this is the demographic you have to get for us to pay you, right? And you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. So the reason WWE went PG era and can't go Attitude Era is because the demographic of all the sponsors you're putting the most money in are people who want a more wholesome demographic.
Yeah, Mars doesn't want to have the matches we saw prior to WrestleMania 18. They want to see.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely. But I will say that if anyone hasn't heard the Eric Bischoff one, I will say that was a surprisingly insightful and really cool episode. Check it out. He does talk a lot about how the sponsorship works and about what he feels like as far as like Stackhouse saying they've bitten off more than they can chew. He didn't say those words at all, but there was definitely a part of stuff that made me feel like, yeah, they've definitely got an uphill battle. Jamtown USA wants to know what happened to my beard. It's because I went full mustache, brah. Saws, dude. That's a mustache, dude. Mustache, dude.
What's
that? Tony Khan. If Tony Khan bought Impact right at this moment, WWE fails as a company.
No. Not even fucking close.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the Impact is circling the drain already.
And I was listening to Pritchard today. And they were talking about AJ Styles and TNA. And Pritchard had this good line about when he went to TNA. And he said, Jeff Jarrett had a goal of making money in the promotion. This has to be profitable. The other people, and he said in the negative light, their goal was to compete against WWE. No, your goal should be to make money and grow stably. And if you get to a point where you are competing with WWE week to week and have a similar audience to it, and you decide, you know what, I want to destroy this other company, then maybe you have an argument to do it. But I wouldn't even do it then, and I don't think that's the goal. We don't know it either, but everything we've heard, they've never said they want to decimate it. They might want to be an alternative. They might reference it. They might go after it in a cheap way, but they're not going at it to destroy it because that is the folly of WCW. That is the folly of TNA. Was bringing in all these talents and people from the era where it was the biggest to try and upset it when you have a small network deal and you can't even fill stadiums.
I agree entirely. Stackhouse says Teddy Hart is a garbage person. If you've got heat with Teddy Hart, I told you about my heat with Sean Spears, dude. Give it up, man. I want to know. Jamtown USA is old Weinberger.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he said,
I'm trying to figure out the
what's
hell
good,
he
Playboy
said.
Cardi Clump?
Oh.
And then he said, by the way, just had to pop in to say hi, congratulations for the big moves with the stream. Great work, keep it up. Once I link up my wife's Prime, I'll sub. Put the I in Prime, subscribe, and the no in notification. You do not have to watch ever again to still be a hero to us.
Jamming, you're the best jamming.
Watching this in the shower as my iPhone heard it was waterproof. Yeah, dude, it's waterproof as fuck, dude. You can do whatever you want to iPhones.
Yeah, put it inside of you.
Let's see. That's a different type of Face ID. I always said his face looked like a butthole, and I could probably unlock his phone with my butthole. And he didn't believe me, but I bet you I could.
Well, now it's got the same hair to it.
Let's see. I think fans are too focused on the idea of WWE versus AEW, not about USA, Fox, and TNT. I will say that's probably hyper true. That's probably an understatement. Is no one's talking about what does the TNT deal mean as far as what does it mean it can do to AEW.
Yeah.
I will say one of the early on things when I heard they signed to TNT, everyone's like, oh my God, it's like WCW. How exciting, there'll be a war. And I thought, TNT is the reason WCW went under.
Yeah, and
Like
AOL.
if you really pinpointed why WCW disappeared,
Warner.
it was because TNT and AOL said, we're done with wrestling, never again, because the guy who bought the thing after Turner just didn't like wrestling. So I was all like, okay, that doesn't feel secure. And WCW wasn't making money to begin with, and it was a fight to keep it because it was a passion for Turner.
Ted Turner, yes.
If this new guy is a businessman and not a passion project kind of a guy, AEW's got a lot to do real fast.
If they're expecting, I think the worry I have with it, and you're...
Peace, Jam.
See, dude, you're right in that WWE got these great deals with Fox and USA USA, NBC, Universal, because they are essentially their own production company now. They're not attached to these networks. They can go anywhere and they can shop it around. They can bring in a huge number of viewers into day viewers.
Yeah.
Even though they're dropping significantly year over year in their performance.
Yeah.
And when we hear about struggles or stress within the company, they're usually because the network is like the next line.
Pressure.
The networks are upset. So TNT, my worry is that they want that level. They don't want it to grow. They want that immediately, and that's not going to help.
Yeah.
That's because AEW has a lot of money, but also quite intelligently, or at least I hope, the cons have not invested everything into it.
Yeah, and I will say, although Shadow King brought it up a little bit earlier, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, Sandman, RVD, Lance Storm as reasons why Impact would shut down WWE if AEW bought them.
None of those people work there anymore.
None of those people work there.
Well,
None of
RVD
those
does,
people.
but-
RVD's there right now. Lance Storm, I think, left, right?
Lance Storm has his own school in Canada.
Yeah, I will say Lance Storm and RVD are the only two on there putting significant, decent product out. Even then, I'd still say Lance Storm is still struggling in the on-screen charisma department, although his Twitter is amazing.
Yeah.
RVD also said in an interview with him that the thing about billionaires who have a lot of money is they don't like to lose a lot of money. And so by saying AEW is backed by billions doesn't mean they're willing to lose millions to break even.
Yes.
So people who have a lot of money and have earned a lot of money don't like to watch that money disappear at a fast rate. So unless AEW starts bringing in a lot of money fast, there's no reason why they wouldn't back out real fast too.
And that is insightful. I think what they've done thus far has been fairly smart, and that the people they brought have not been like, there's a mix. I just look at TNA and WCW and what it became, especially TNA around 2010, where it was, fuck, even Russo's back. And
Yeah, when Russo came back, it was pretty gnarly.
yeah, and it's like, oh cool, we're going to have literally everyone who ever had a contract with WWE and left, and we're going to put you in a prominent role, and we're going to screw over everyone else that we have. And the other reason these people, these big WWE, or these former names for WWE are kind of risking my eyes is, what happens when Vince says, hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of money, you come back and do a couple dates?
Yeah.
Because they go back.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Let's see. Stackhouse was saying about Teddy Hart, he was supposed to work with him a few years back, and he showed up an hour after the show was over, super drunk and high, and couldn't even walk straight. I will say I've heard that in the past about Teddy Hart. I have heard recently he's cleaned up his act. I don't know any of. I would have never been exposed to him in any way, so I 100% believe you based off what I've heard. I've also heard that he might be turning his life around. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I hope it's true. If not, that is pretty shitty, dude. It's shitty either way. Whether he's cleaned up now or not, he should apologize to the people he fucked over that way. But my understanding is he is on the up.
I would like, and
I always hope for the best for that stuff.
yeah, someone who's like gone through some not fun times, and it's
Yeah.
good. It's never fun to hear someone whose life's impacted in a negative way because of those demons, and it's
Yeah. No, 100%. And so, if that's still his way of life, then yeah, that's shit, man. If he's come back around, then I might not book him, but I might give him a second chance to be a nice guy. But I agree. I wish Sean Spears was too drunk and high when I met him. Like, at least
have an excuse.
Yeah, I have an excuse for being a dick. Let's see. The wild card rule, thanks to TV networks. Yeah, the dumb no separation anymore. Let's see. Something you need to think about is if TNT said, could Tony Khan go to CBS and say, I'm an NFL team owner, put this on as well? TNT said no. Are they saying that someone asked TNT if Tony Khan could put his football on a different show? Oh, if he could put AEW on another channel because of his NFL team.
I don't
TNT
know,
said no.
because I think also part of it is like, so the running of the NFL team isn't Tony, that's his dad. That's Shahir.
Oh yeah, he's
He actually
analytics.
Yeah, he's actually owns a sports analytics company, which is really cool. He's attached. He's the son, and at some point he might be the owner of the Jaguars.
And at the same time, people say he's the owner of AEW. He took a loan out from his dad.
Yeah.
Like that's been talked about in little interviews here and there, is he proposed AEW as a business deal to his father. And his father said, I trust you and believe in you. It's not even his money that we're saying is backing it, and he's the head of it. If his dad says, kid, you're losing too much money, and the kid's like, trust me, it's okay, we're going to lose money for a couple of years and then it'll come back, and dad says, that's not okay with me, then you've just lost funding.
Yeah.
Because you've got money through a secondary source again.
I think we need to treat this as TNT and AEW will be working together. We don't know about the Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't know about these other levels, other than like when you see these weird like pop-ins, like LeBron James in the front row of Smackdown or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And they might be attached to other things, but it's this web of attachment, not necessarily that everything is all joined together.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say I represent this company, therefore you can have their endorsement through me being present.
Yeah.
Or logically you shouldn't, though.
Well, who was it that got fired for being on someone else's show? I want to say it was actually not a really big star. It was
Like
somebody
wrestling?
who was new. Yeah, someone was on WWE and actually went to a TNA taping as a fan and was in the audience. TNA saw that person and panned the camera to them, saying, "Look who's in the audience," and they got canned by WWE because they're like, "You weren't supposed to be on someone else's show."
I have a better example. There's a writer when
Oh,
yeah,
the
when
writer with the Young Bucks.
yeah
Yeah,
gone.
gone. Let's see. And then what's funny is Sami Zayn took a picture with that writer not that long ago. Posted it up. Just running into friends. Let's see. WWE could fail as a company and still keep a TV deal. Vince would put on a circus instead of wrestling. I think that's what the XFL is, the circus, right?
Yeah. I always love that Simpsons joke where Homer sits down and he's got all of his XFL gear on, and then Marge goes and says, "It's gone. It canceled. I was talking to the quarterback of the winning team while he's bagging my groceries."
Oh, nice. Let's see. I hope he is better. He apologized and stuff the next day, but it was still pretty shitty. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a shitty situation. And
Wait, does Twitch censor cussing?
no, I don't think so. Why?
Okay, well, doesn't because
Oh, you thought the dollar sign?
yeah.
No. Keith was saying that
No,
there's
no.
money.
When
Money.
Stackhouse said it's pretty. Asterisk.
Oh, shit, your app did do it. On mine, it says pretty shitty. Yours censored it.
Fuck! Wait, did it censor when it said fuck?
No.
Fuck.
See, mine says shitty, and on your mobile app, it said asterisk. And then...
What the fuck?
Okay, it's still pretty shitty on this one, too. How did you get asterisk? Mine... We have the same iOS app on the same model phone, and mine's not censored.
No, you have a 10S, don't you?
No, just 10.
Goddamn.
I wonder why yours showed up censored. Is there a censor setting somewhere that Clump's turned on? Isn't it like an idiot? iPad not censored. Yeah, I mean it's not on my Safari, not on this one, not that. So yeah, with Stackhouse, it does sound super shitty. I guess he apologized, which I guess it's nice for him to say, "Sorry, I fucked up," but that's got to feel like shit. I mean, how excited were you, right, to be like, "I'm gonna work Teddy Hart of the fucking Hearts."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be exciting. And then for the dude to show up and he's just a pile of shit, that's got to be fucking awful. So I really hope he is on the better, just because even if he never wrestles again from a human aspect, you love the family. Right? Chuck Privacy said he's on Twitch. All right. So thank you, Shadow King. Might have yourself accidentally restricted from mature content. So if you're restricted from mature content, which would make sense. You are very childlike and innocent. Let's see. I'm thinking CBS Sports could air wrestling. And is it Fox Sports or straight up Fox taking SmackDown? Fox, I thought it was Fox taking SmackDown, but I thought they're talking about putting some wrestling content on FS1, sort of like how Talking Smack was, or an analytic style show, to add more of a sports aspect to it. Which supposedly Renee Young might be one of the hosts of, and also they talked about Daniel Cormier maybe hosting something like that as well.
That'd be cool.
Very cool. Let's see. Then it says fuck, and then we talk about censoring because of you. Let's see. Might have yourself accidentally. Oh yeah. So Disney is taking SmackDown. The mouse is taking WWE. Yeah, that's a good call. Fox is owned by Disney.
Yeah, everything but News Corp, right?
But they're PG, so it's okay now.
Yeah.
I think that does mean. I mean, the network has to stay separate, so you can have some of that crazy old shit.
And Disney, a lot of people. Every time that they talk about Disney being owner, they've not been as hands-on with content as people have worried.
Yeah, look at all the Marvel shit.
Yeah,
That's all
and
Disney.
Star Wars. They've not jumped in there and been like, "Yo, you can't do this." They've been pretty like, they've been off tour
Going
like pretty
14
separate.
plus in October, going 14 plus. I mean, I think that's really cool. NXT on FS1 would be really cool. What I do like about NXT though is that it is free and not free, but it is available in its entirety on the network immediately, as well as Hulu. I do think also, I think WWE being bought essentially by a Disney company just further acknowledges the good that it's doing money-wise for WWE to be PG, and part of also the concern on AEW. The show that they put on at Double or Nothing was not something that Disney would allow. I will say that the next day is when I met Dustin Rhodes, the day after Double or Nothing, and I met him early in the morning. It must have been noon, maybe not even, maybe 10. And when I went up to meet him, he was so passionate about what he just went through. He looked so exhausted, and we were talking, and he said, "Can you believe that Vince wouldn't let me have that?" And he said, "You know what's so shitty is if we did that in WWE, I would have been fined $100,000 for bleeding." Fast forward to the TNT deal. Dustin Rhodes got fired from WCW for bleeding when they were on TNT.
Yeah.
Now you're in a company because they give you the freedom to do the very thing that you were fired from the very company that now owns that company or partnered with. I just think that we're in dicey ground right now. We're in a weird spot where, yeah, what they did that night was fucking magic, and it was wrestling perfection. And it's why I love wrestling, is stuff like that match. And the gratitude and love of what happened that I saw in Dustin's eyes and heard him talk about is exactly what we need in wrestling. But dude, you're also the guy who got fired for doing the same thing from a similar level company on the exact same network. So did you really walk into the freedom to do that forever? Or did you walk into the perfect storm of having an opening to do that match that could never happen again? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you find out about your...
I'll figure it out later.
All right. He took a screenshot of the...
That's a good idea.
Oh, my God. Take a screenshot of the stuff that Keith told you. Charlotte to be a Disney princess confirmed. I agree. I think Alexa probably wants to be a Disney princess more. She has the longitude and latitude coordinates of Disney World tattooed on her in white ink. She has like 5 tattoos that are all in white ink so no one can see them. I think it's an interesting concept, but being so tattooed up, I wonder at what level is it not even not for you? You know what I mean? Like, my tattoos are for me. That's why I wear a lot of like long sleeves and shit. But like, once it's white, is it even for you? Like, I don't know. Let's see. By the way, I should have said this. I'm a retired wrestler.
Very cool.
Awesome. I am a couldn't be more part-time ref. I've ref like 4 times, maybe 3. Local company in town, really like them a lot. Like working with the guys, but scheduling has not worked out well for me in about a month or 2 months, I think. But with a new job and a new schedule coming up, maybe it'll start swinging through again. That's where I got the Ref Marsh from. Yeah. Go ahead and find me on Twitter at Ref Marsh, Instagram at MarshRef. Give us a little follow. If you're retired and you have any old footage, I'd love to watch it and check it out. Stackhouse is a current indie wrestler. He's our first fan, first follower, and I got to see one of his title matches he had. Didn't win, but he did a really great job. A really good match. I'll be curious to see some of your work too. I love wrestling in general. I don't have a divided line of it's WWE or nothing. Clump likes he watches every fucking thing.
Yeah.
But it'd be really cool to see some of your stuff. If you're proud enough to show it. I don't know what kind of character you have. If you're Bastion Booger, I understand if you don't want to send it to me.
What's wrong with Bastion Booger?
Dude, Bastion Booger or Mantor with his fucking hoof feet. But
Friar Ferguson?
only 20-something and retired. So he's probably not Bastion Booger, which is good to know. Although...
You retired earlier than Jay-Z.
Bastion, if you're watching, we appreciate it.
Bastion is dead.
Bastion Booger's dead?
Bastion Booger's been dead for like 5 years.
If anybody has Bastion Booger's old ring gear, we'd be interested.
Because I could fit
He's
in
not
it?
using it anymore, and you could fit in it. We could have
It might be tight.
a booger clump.
Yeah.
I
I have a plan to start cosplaying at comic conventions as I lose weight as thinner and thinner wrestlers. I'm going to start with Bastion Booger and then Big Show and go
Ring
down.
name was Shade. That's funny because out here in Tucson we have someone goes by Da Shade, D-A Shade, spelled the same way. Just kind of funny. He's also pretty young.
I'm picturing
Let's see. TNT is taking wrestling and putting it on a hot stove, and I can't wait to see how the next year plays out. Alexa would be a better Disney villain. I don't disagree. Let's see. Any experience in the Funking Conservatory from anyone here? Looking to attend soon. The Funking Dojo?
Yeah.
Let's see. Some idiot dropped me on my back. Oh, that sucks.
Damn.
Had someone who passed on appearing bored.
What words are we having corrected and what part of the sentence?
Starcast had someone who passed on an appearing board.
My ultimate goal is to cosplay as Goldust.
Oh, are you talking about Owen Hart's thing? What?
I can't hear you, producer. You can talk. Masaru.
Who's Masaru? Oh, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Masaru was still listed on StarCast 2 appearances board and was on their app, and they didn't ever remove it. And then they also didn't acknowledge it, which was fucking shameful. Let's see. Ultimate goal is to cosplay as Goldust. The
That's
timing. You could do it. I cosplayed as Mankind before. I looked pretty much like Mankind.
Yeah. It's not like a timing thing. I've just always liked Goldust as a character. He's always been really cool and weird, and I like that. I'm not gonna pull off Brock Lesnar. I could do Brock Lesnar after he's like totally fucking let go.
I was thinking about doing fat AJ Styles.
We should just do like pudgy cosplays.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking because on the WWE shop, they have like his whole getup is on like super clearance, and so it's like for like $40 I could get the leather vest. And I was like, dude, I could totally do fat AJ Styles.
I'm down for this. What we should do for Tucson Comic Con or one of our Comic Cons, we should go have those chips and just go
As fat versions
Yeah,
of other
fuck
people.
yes.
I'm trying to think who's bald you could go as. We could do the Viking Raiders, pretty solid.
Yeah.
But if I was fat AJ
I can
Styles,
show off the girls.
you'd have to put on a wig, but you could do like Samoa Joe. But
I'm already creepy enough.
if you're already going to do a wig, I would say do Fat Adam Cole if you're going to do a wig.
Fathom Cole.
Fat Adam Cole, baby. Let's see the timing you said it.
Berber.
And everyone was trying to figure out what she meant. You just randomly burst out the idea. Yeah. So as I'm trying to figure out what she's talking about, you're just like, oh, my ultimate goal is to cosplay Goldust.
I mean, he was trying to read it, so I just thought it was, yeah.
Just thought you would engage the audience.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's how I do this. I'm not great at what I do. I'll make no claims to be. I'm not going to win any fucking awards.
Fattest Adam Cole, you could win, dude.
I could, yeah. I'm sure there'd be someone bigger.
Yeah.
Some of our fans, some wrestling fans in this community are pretty big dudes.
That's actually true. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'm trying to think if there's anything else we wanted to make sure we covered as far as the indie wrestling scene go. I really enjoyed the discourse. I'm glad we went on a little early so we could have the back and forth like that. It was really cool for me. Also, like I said, guys, at Ref Marsh on Twitter, at Marsh Ref on Instagram. Clump has no social media because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, smash that Prime subscribe key if you want to give us free money. Whatevs. Also, you can just put the I in following and the no notifications if you just want to be a hero and not keep watching. You can do both of those things as well. But we really liked you add into it. Stackhouse, as always, you're our number one. Tuned in late, not sure what was covered, but I'll be sure to tune in the next episode.
Heck yeah, Keith, thanks, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also going to be posting. We have YouTube. I've got less YouTube followers than we have Twitch followers. I just need 100 YouTube followers to make a URL that doesn't make gibberish. So if we could just make that happen so I could do like a YouTube/Wrestling on the Rocks, that's my goal for YouTube. We're archiving all of our old episodes on there, and we're always willing to rehash old topics if you want to bring up anything or say anything.
I'll put the link into the chats.
Yeah, if you can find the link real quick. I think I might have it over here too.
Yeah, you can see some of the greatest hits, like me spilling shit.
Oh yeah, I try to make highlights of when Clump fucks up. So every week we have highlights pretty much. I just haven't knocked them all down yet. But right now, we'll get the link up there.
My life is a highlight reel of sad.
Dude, it's in. I've sent you a link recently.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Hey, you should have it up on your Safari over there, producer. One of the tabs. No, go to a tab. Go to a new tab. And just hit YouTube. Does one of those say Wrestling on the Rocks YouTube? We're going to get it up there right now. Any other things you guys wanted to talk about at all? I'm glad you chimed in. At least give us a follow so you can come back sometime. But we have already hit the affiliate, so we're pretty happy about that. You can just copy paste whatever that link is and send it to them. Put it in the chat. Yeah, our YouTube link is awful, dude. It's like 64 characters, random capitalizations, probably symbols. But we got it coming to you right now. There it goes.
Boom.
Yeah, guys, go ahead and it says view as a subscriber. Is this going to work? I clicked it. It works. It works. So there it is. If you guys want that little championship belt, as you see right there, that is the 5 o'clock somewhere title. I'm about to tweet out tonight the large version of it so you can see what it looks like. It is a take on the 24/7 title, but we drink here, so it's the 5 o'clock somewhere title. You get that by giving us a little Prime subscribe. And then as we go on and you get more titles as we go, essentially. So I'm going to start designing more of them as well. But yeah, if you'd like yourself a little 5 o'clock somewhere one, you can give us that free sub. Otherwise, dude, thanks for tuning in. We do go on every Wednesday. We try to go on an hour after NXT. We went on a little early today because we knew we were going to talk about extra stuff. And then randomly, when pay-per-views come around, sometimes we'll do a before show predictions show the same day before kickoff. And then we sometimes try to squeeze in on like a Sunday
morning.
Well, later on Sundays. So when did we do? We did the weekend one that was like a recap of just it. Probably maybe we wouldn't have done a Monday or Tuesday.
We've done Saturday night.
Yeah.
That was for Double or Nothing. It was like a week after, so it was like totally not timely.
Yeah. But anyways, we do bonus shows for certain topics and stuff. We did one strictly on AEW's Double or Nothing and StarCast. Check them out, man. If there's ever anything you want us to talk about directly, you could always just hit me up on Twitter @RefMarsh. And I got the notification, so I'll get a ding. Sweet, dude.
Yeah, dude, thank you.
We hope to have you back. I really appreciate how active you were in moving our conversation along when we weren't sure how much we were going to talk about with the indie stuff. I really like this AEW conversation. I feel like it's a lot of people who want them to succeed and are willing to talk about what their struggles are going to be. Because I feel like that conversation is a little lacking online right now. It's either they're going to take out WWE or you're stupid. And I feel like there's a balance somewhere in there of I honestly believe...
stupidly going to take out WWE.
Yeah. I do believe that, and I said it in one of the other shows, if AEW is going to succeed, it's on us as fans to make sure that happens. If they fail, with the amount of talent, with the amount of creative, the amount of backing they have, it's our fault if they fail because we're not having an honest, open Discord about them, to them, to let them know what they're doing well and what they're not. I want them to succeed, so I hope you do too, and we can keep these conversations going. Otherwise, we'll see you next week or sooner if something randomly happens that we just decide to go live, but usually it's going to be Wednesdays, okay? Let's see. I think the wrestling boom Meltzer predicted years ago is beginning. Hope as a fan. Yeah, me too, man. I think it's happening. I think we're in the thick of it. And I think that it's only going to get better as long as we keep that conversation open. If we're going to hold WWE to the fire and say this is where you're fucking up, we have to do the same thing to AEW if we want them both to get so good that we remember what it was like living through the Attitude Era. Awesome, dude. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. That wraps up another episode of Wrestling on the Rocks. Cheers and last call.